these things, and Rhett mentioned that Keldrick Falk played wide receiver in high school. You thought nobody was listening to you, but I was. And you said, I love that.
Yes.
Why do you like that he was a wide receiver in high school? How is that helpful to him now?
Because he's a big athlete. The speed is there. You understand that. The fact that he was able to transition from wide receiver to the defensive line shows you his flexibility, how moldable he is, how impressionable he is as well. And the fact that when you make those type of movements on the outside, being acrobatic, taking advantage, to be quite honest with you, of smaller guys, I'm sure at the time too, and just being able to show that athleticism, that goes a long way. When guys are big athletes that are playing small skill positions like wide receiver that he was, you know that talent is just barely getting tapped into. His transition from wide receiver to defensive line allows you to think, okay, some might say, okay, well, why did you take him here? Why did you move up? Why did you give up draft picks? Well, this guy has shown his ability to be prone to adjusting, adapting, being moldable, as I said earlier before. And you, with a coach like Robert Saleh and the Tennessee Titans veteran presence that they have on the defense as well, can show him this is how we play this position. As young as he is, will be 21 when the season kicks off, right, or around that time. That's what coaches used to love. Teams used to love more is when you get them in and they're young like that. You paint them however you want to if they have that discipline. And I got a feeling because he speaks highly of his father, he's got that discipline.
Yeah, you're going to be excited to hear both of these guys, and you nailed it, Rhett. These guys are Titans. These guys fit the bill of locker room guys, of culture guys. Certainly their talent is off the charts, and they're not going to draft them unless their talent was really going to improve the team. But they're going to improve the team every day of the week, not just on Sunday. Mr. Bowling, why don't you go through what the Titans gave up and where they're picking now because of taking Mr. Falk at 31.
Yes, so the Titans received pick 31, that opportunity as well for the fifth-year option for Keldrick Falk, as well as a first-round pick versus a second-round pick that comes with that.
That's a big deal.
It is huge.
Certainly is. Sets them up for the future as well for a player that they know will help them in the short term. Titans also received picks 69 and 165, so that will be their first selection here tonight, as currently scheduled here on night 2. Pick 69, 165 is a fifth-round pick. The Buffalo Bills received picks 35, 66, and 101. So the Titans move back from that fourth-round spot into the fifth at that point, which means they have a gap Taylor from picks 69 today, as currently scheduled. Again, things can always change, to 165 tomorrow.
Things could always change, Amy.
I mean, this draft has been one of the crazier ones that I've seen in a while. So let's just assume that anything could change at any time as we go on today. I would like to set the scene before we really take off running here. The draft is happening right now. The San Francisco 49ers are on the clock. It looks, according to the television in front of me, that the pick is in. We are going to be rolling through this draft, but we're also talking all things Tennessee Titans. So you're going to get a little bit of everything here in the next couple hours while we are on air. Just wanted to make sure that's clear. Will Bowling is here doing our just immediate updates. So whenever he's got some news, some information, just a funny anecdote, we would love to hear it.
I got you.
Okay, so with that being said, Taylor Zarzer.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's talk a little bit about the day that was on day one, because it was crazy town from start to finish. Let's just overall talk a little bit about, well, let's wait and see who the 49ers select, and then I'm going to ask you this question.
Okay. You want to listen to that?
Yeah, let's listen to that.
I would like to listen to that.
It was an honor to play here for 4 years, and I just want to thank the 49ers for this opportunity. I want to give a shout-out.
Punter Andy Lee.
I love when a punter gets to do something cool. Like, get him out there, man.
The show's kind of their Brett Kern.
Pittsburgh does not like him, but
no. Okay. We don't like Pittsburgh.
49ers select Deshaun Stribling, wide receiver, Ole Miss.
How about Deshaun Stribling, 6'2" and an 8'207". And this guy, you saw a bunch of him doing
did.
SEC games. And speed, size, combo, really was used as a contested catch weapon in red zone stuff. He ain't afraid to go across the middle of the field. Deshaun Stribling, big time.
He had some big-time catches against Georgia in the first meeting against the Dogs in Athens, and then in the victory against them in the quarterfinals of the college football playoff. Dejon Stribling was a dude, as Coach Mack would say, in the Southeastern Conference. Big, physical wide receiver. That is the first selection that the San Francisco 49ers have made in this draft, Amy. You were asking about last night and providing a recap.
Yes.
How about this, Rome? You had 16 of the 32 picks. Teams didn't pick where they were supposed to pick or where they were slotted to pick last night because of trades. 8 teams did not make a selection last night. The 49ers just made their first selection of the draft. Buffalo, Cincinnati, Denver, Indianapolis, Green Bay, Jacksonville, the Atlanta Falcons, all still have not made a pick in this draft.
No doubt. And some of those are past transactions, of course, that they had to give picks away to other teams. But it's also just this. Picking in the first round is a heavy burden for a lot of these people. And if you feel like you should trade back to get more picks so you can pick in the meat of this draft, as Coach Mack like to say, you strengthen your team. Like the second, third rounds, fourth, and I get the second, third, and fourth round, your core of your team. And that's where these teams feel more comfortable in not being able to gauge where these first rounders are. There were some players that were picked. Some might think they were a reach. I think the biggest surprise of night one was Caleb Banks, of course, but Minnesota loved Caleb Banks in the first round, picking him at 18th overall. And that's where a lot of these teams, I feel like, want to remove that stress and build up the core of their squad through the second, third, fourth, and potentially fifth round as well.
The first round presented by the New York Jets. They took 3 players last night in the draft. Cleveland had 2 picks last night. So did the Dolphins, Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, the Titans did. The Giants, Dallas Cowboys also made a couple of selections. So a lot of teams moving around, Will, last night. Be interesting to see if we see as much movement tonight as we saw last night.
Yeah, and I think the thing that's going to be interesting tonight, Taylor, is, and for example, Dejon Stribling, who was ranked in the 60s in prospects by both Daniel Jeremiah and by Dan Brugler. I think we're going to see a wide range of where players go and just the overall consensus on where they, quote-unquote, should go through this entire thing. And I think the same could be said about trades. If you have a strong conviction about a player in this draft specifically, Rhett, that is going to vary team to team, maybe more this year than it does in most seasons.
And you're right, because I said it in these OTPs we did leading up to the draft. Baskin Robbins has 31 flavors. There's 32 when we come to the NFL. And War Room boards at some point look much different depending on what they like, what they need, what impression they made, whatever. And as far as Dejon Stribling with the 49ers, if I'm not mistaken, Juwan Jennings hasn't signed, right?
No,
that's correct.
That's not.
So that's a potential
and
replacement
the issue that
there
they have
for
with
that.
Brandon Ayuk.
Correct. So,
Yes.
I mean, they needed a receiver for sure. And then the Cardinals here at 34 have just taken Chase Basantis, the guard from Texas A&M, 6'5 and a quarter, 315, 502 in the 40, 176 in the 10, 32 vert, 8'9 broad. Arms 31 and 3/4, hands 9 and 3/4, wing 78 inches plus, 29 reps at 225, nearly 2,000 career snaps for the Aggies. Only 2 sacks allowed in the last 2 years. 8 penalties in 2025, 22 starts at left guard over the last 2 seasons. Also 12 starts at right guard and one right tackle and 1 at right guard. Versatile there. Quick, active hands, good level of his pads. That's a nice player for them.
No doubt.
And Taylor Zarzer is having a response to that. You looked like maybe that was a friend of yours that you
I like him. I like him a lot, and I really liked Rhett's breakdown he did of him a couple weeks ago when we were going through the position groups. I enjoyed covering him in college at Texas A&M. I thought he was one of the best guards in the Southeastern Conference, and I loved how versatile he was. And I started dreaming about him maybe playing in certain places. But listen, that's something to watch tonight, Amy, is how many guards go off the board. Is that a position of need for the Tennessee Titans? That's something to think about. And by the way, the Buffalo Bills pick is in. We're going to learn who it is in just a minute. Remember, Amy, this is pick 35. We thought this was going to be the Titans pick.
That's right.
Now.
Yeah. And with the Titans now having 3 fifth-round picks tomorrow and 2 in the 6th, is there enough weaponry there to move up into something tonight to go get somebody?
Yeah,
we'll
what
see.
do you think, Will?
I think it's certainly possible. I think you look at some of the prices of teams to move up yesterday, and Kansas City going up 3 spots with Cleveland, and it really just costing them a 3 and a 5 to go up a couple of spots at that point. I think it's certainly possible. I think it would take a couple of those fives, and we're probably talking about third round at this point as well. But it certainly, I think we're going to learn quickly when the first trade is made, kind of what the going rate is, I would say, for today.
And I think you're right about that. Also, I'm going to say this about Mike Morganzi, and I'm going to be wrong because he played poker last night and fooled us all. But I just think the tipping point or the line in the sand for him is not giving up future capital in 2027 and beyond. But he's got enough in day 3 to work with.
But I think it's also interesting that the way this draft is kind of structured, and we've talked about this class for months, is that there's really high talent at the top, and then there's a little bit of a drop-off, and then there's so many value players.
Yeah.
Might be a great opportunity to have some of those later picks and get some really good bang for your buck in those later rounds.
That's right. And, I mean, well, to your point, how about what the Titans did last year?
Exactly.
And all of those guys had meaningful snaps on the field throughout the year. I mean, so it's a good point. T.J. Parker was just taken by the T.J. Parker, the Clemson Tiger, was just taken by the Buffalo Bills, Rhett.
Yeah, and that's a guy that a lot of people had going in night 1.
Yes.
6'3.5", 263, arms 33 and an eighth, 79-inch wing. 1,188 snaps over his last couple of years. Started to show out and made some money, I think, at the Senior Bowl that week in Mobile.
No doubt.
But there was a production drop-off from 2024. You could say that about a lot of Clemson products.
Yes.
And whether that's fair to T.J. Parker or not, you're going to start to see a run, I think, on the next group of edge and interior defensive linemen. That's some stuff that's really good still sitting here tonight. And Caden McDonald from Ohio State. I mean, there's a lot of good pass rushers and interior defensive linemen that are still available.
I know opposing teams hate to see the Buffalo Bills on the clock because they're the type of team when it comes to edge. Landon Jackson, not just a couple of years ago, if you look at the edge players that they have there as well, not only him, but Bradley Chubb is there. You look at Greg Rousseau being there, Javon Solomon. They got a long list of guys, and they covet the edge position with the Buffalo Bills, especially now with how good their AFC East has become.
That's correct.
Well, Bowling, the TV is telling me that there is a trade that has happened. Do you have any information about that other than the fact that Houston is now on the clock?
What I can tell you is just that Houston is on the clock. Here we go.
Smart.
Now I've got it. Here. It has finally come through. Houston is moving up 2 spots from 38 with the Las Vegas Raiders. So Houston will receive 36 and 117. Las Vegas will receive 38 and 91.
All right. Well, we will have Houston's pick on the other side of this break. Titans Radio's coverage of the 2026 NFL Draft is right here, and we'll have more for you when we come back. NFL Draft is presented to you by Nobody Trashes Tennessee, which is brought to you by the Tennessee Department of Transportation. We are here with all of the coverage of round 2 of the NFL Draft. And I said before we hit the break that we were going to come back and tell you who the Houston Texans selected as they just traded up. And they still haven't picked anybody yet. So I only a little bit lied, but they are now walking to the podium. So let's tune in to Pittsburgh and see what the NFL Commissioner, Roger Goodell, has to say.
Scored the first touchdown for the Texans, both in preseason and regular season. Quite a record.
He's got a crooked pinky up there.
With the 36th pick.
That's how you know he played good football.
Draft, the Houston Texans select Caden McDonald.
All right.
Defensive tackle, Ohio State.
And Caden McDonald, 6'2" at 8, 326 pounds. Massive hands, 10 inches. Wing, almost 79. Arm, 32 and a quarter. 27 reps at 225 at the combine. He's a nose. He's definitely a nose. Junior, one of the underclassmen in this. 1 year started at Ohio State. 65 tackles, 9 for loss, 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 1 pass breakup. All-American and a plus run defender, which is exactly what you need in the National Football League. 695 snaps, though, in 2025, only 32 per game. So he's got a wide body, thick in the lowers, good knockback, got a GPS to the ball against the run. It's the experience with this guy, but he comes from Ohio State.
It is, and this is one of those meat of the defense type of players as well. His stat line might not be the highest, but his effectiveness will always be there as well. If you ask any of the defensive players that went in the first round, he set the tone for the entire defense. Not that it revolved around him, but if he was going, everybody else got going. And I'm sure this is what Houston was thinking because they got the edge on lock when it comes down to their defensive ends. We know who they are. We don't even have to mention them. And he's a threat up the middle that becomes a clearance, I guess, for a guy like Azeez Al-Shire.
Ohio State is the new Alabama or Georgia.
They kind of took it.
I mean, really, you think of it. Now, they did have 4 of the first 11 picks in the draft. This is the first Buckeye since then. He's the 5th overall Ohio State Buckeye to be selected, but obviously a stud, and that program is just littering the NFL draft. Will, did you see who he was talking to just a moment ago?
He was talking to Jeffrey Simmons, who is there to make the Titans' night 2 pick right now. But I said the S as a question mark to make the Titans announcements, whatever they are tonight. Yeah.
Love that, by the way. Very
McDonald's,
excited for him.
they called him Golden Arches. They call anything about McDonald's. But McPounds, I think, is his nickname.
Yeah, he's Big Mac.
Yeah, I think he also had a first-round grade on him, of course, by Dane Brugler and his beast list that he had as well.
A lot of people said he was the first DT.
Yeah, I thought he would be.
Yeah.
Great talent, man. And, again, Ohio State to that point, Taylor, you mentioned it. Like, they just are picking at this point when it comes down to talent, and they are actually developing those guys as well. You just got to tip the cap.
Can I ask a question that's not related to anything, but just an observation I just made looking at the TV just now? They handed him a helmet, not a jersey. If you're picked in the second round, do you get a helmet, not a jersey? I've never noticed that before.
A little bit of a difference. They said first rounders get a little bit better treatment,
Okay, so if you're a first rounder, you get a jersey and a 5th-year option. If you're a second rounder, here's your helmet, nerd.
You know what, though? A helmet's,
go to work.
Helmet's worth a lot more money than a jersey.
It could be, and I guarantee those jerseys probably go to Canton or into the team facility as well.
Wait till tomorrow. Here's a bumper sticker.
You get like a lapel pin and
we should tell you timing wise, picks in this round 7 minutes per pick, and then when we hit round 3, they'll go to 5 minutes per pick, and then they'll go to 4 minutes all day tomorrow. I think is how that works out.
I think it's 5 minutes all the way out.
I actually like this a whole lot better.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's 5 all the way out.
I think so.
I just know because I've Googled it a lot.
Yeah, the pace of this, I think, works better for the consumer. And I think the guys that got to wait for hours. Wasn't the second round years back like 12 minutes, and the first round was 20 as well? This is a nice condensed version of it, and I think it's better for the players.
It was not too long ago that the first round, in fact, it was Roger Goodell's first draft as commissioner in 2007. This is his 20th draft.
Wow.
In that first draft, the first round took, I believe, 6 hours and 10 minutes.
My goodness.
And that was immediately when they said, you know what, let's not do this at 15 minutes a pick. Let's do it at 10.
Yeah.
And they've kept it until this year when they reduced it to 8 last night.
And I thought it worked well. And it was interesting listening to a lot of different personnel people throughout the league who said, take it to 5. I mean, like they were talking.
ready.
Mike Borgonzi was ready.
They have all their contingency plans ready. Now, the trade part of it is a little tricky when you only have a few minutes to get it pulled off. But if you're ready to make your pick, you're ready to make your pick.
Because that was a little bit of a hiccup last night at pick 20. Well, Pittsburgh versus Philly. That's where it could get.
To your point, though, to your point, TZ. Both teams have to have exactly the same language to be submitted for trade. There cannot be any differences. Like, it has to be agreed upon. All things have to line up.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, we approve the trade.
Yeah. So for that reason, and I think people would like to take commercials, and Roger Goodell would like to go to the bathroom every once in a while, probably.
Yeah,
so
I think there's a little
between the
pageantry
poos.
associated with it, too. Like, I think in night one, they like to take the time and have the moment and do the thing. And I respect that. I get that. I do. But, like, I mean, after that, if we're just handing out helmets and bumper stickers at that point, we can probably just rip through some of these, you know?
Hey, for the undrafted guys, you just get a stamp on your hand.
They just let you walk in.
Yeah, admission granted is what it is.
Oh, my
This
goodness.
is about to get interesting right here.
Yeah, let's see who the Giants select here.
O.C. played for the Giants. What a great man he is.
Osi Umenyiora.
With the 37th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Colton Hood, defensive back, Tennessee.
Colton Hood, 5'11" and 5'8", 193 pounds, arms 31 and 3/8, hands 9, wings 75 inches at the combine, 4.44 in the 40, 1.58 in the first 10, 40.5-inch vert, 10.5 broad. 80.3 coverage grade allowed, just over 52% completion rate in 2025, just over 1,100 snaps. 4 penalties in 2025. Missed tackles. That's the thing that needs to clean up with him. But here's the thing, VFL Ramon Foster.
Yes,
he goes ahead of his teammate.
I was just about to say, how about that?
Health matters, and those rumors seem to have been true about Jermont McCoy. But about Colton Hood, I remember watching him in the NCAA kickoff, I think, in Atlanta. And from play one, you saw and you felt him. He plays with aggressiveness that Nard Wilson is going to enjoy on his defense. He make plays. He has to meet that Johnny on the spot effect to where the football bounces his way, interceptions come his way, and he finds fumbles and scooping scores all the time. He, to me, is a product of the good side of the transfer portal.
Yeah, he absolutely is. He is a tight man cover corner. He is sticky in coverage. He's not played a lot of football, though, as a starter. Just 13 career starts for Colton Hood. Starting at Auburn, going to Colorado, finishing up at Tennessee. 9 passes defended in 2025, 8 in 2024 with Colorado. Cordell Flott is now a Tennessee Titan and not a New York Giant. There's your Cordell Flott replacement in the Big Apple.
Okay, so that was going to be my question because there was a little bit of a response in the room, and I wasn't sure if that was like a VFL, just like whoop whoop, or if that was, hey, this really fits the Giants because, and it seems like maybe a little bit of both.
I do think it's both, Ramon. And he is such a good man coverage press corner. He's going to know what flavor breath mint you've got in your mouth when he's covering you on the line of scrimmage.
I've never heard anything grosser in football.
Yeah, I know. It's just don't. I'm not thinking about it anymore.
He's just a dream.
Ramon's used to this.
He's a dream, though, to have on your team because it's just his effort is off of the charts.
That's what I was going to say.
And I think that's what just happened here is because of the effort you saw last year with the Vols, this guy ends up with being the 37th pick. I do feel for Jermont McCoy because before the injury, I sort of feel like he would have been potentially a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. That he could have been Mansour Delane at LSU. And I hope he's all right. I really do. I hope that he can get that people have peace of mind about his health because that guy's talent is off the charts. And it's crazy he's still out there. To me, at least.
Yeah, it is. And the other side of his game, too, is he got healthy. He ran a sub 4.4. We had a guest on our show this morning on Ramon and Wilson. After he ran the 4.4, it's Brent Hubbs that said it. It's like the scouts that were chattering like, okay, you can just shut it down now. We saw what we needed to. Like, that's the talent. And it'll be one of those situations where he gets in a position and you'll say, where did he come from? And it was because of the injury.
The Las Vegas Raiders have made a selection at pick 38. Rhett Bryan. Do you want to do the honors?
Yeah, it's Traden Stukes, and from Arizona. This guy translates to free safety at the NFL level. He's a nickel-type guy, 6'1", 190, 4.33 in the 40, 1.5 in the 10, 38-inch vert, 10-10 broad. So the explosion is there. This guy has a well-heralded story about going from being a walk-on to being a dad blame captain of the team. High school triple jump state championship. 809 snaps in the last 2 years for the Arizona Wildcats. Great speed, excellent recovery speed. Had a torn ACL in 2025, but came back from that and did a nice job. He's one of the older rookies in this at 24 years old. And if I'm not mistaken, he was reported as a top 30 visit for the Tennessee Titans, I believe. That's a nice player for them.
Yes, he is. And again, when you look at him, I think there's some teams that say he's all over the field. He can make the plays because he's long in his digits and whatnot. But he is kind of tight in the hips, but he moves well on the field when you see him. He's a threat to anybody that's trying to make a play over the middle or down the sideline. He's a great assistance to his corners when he's in zone. And that's a great pickup for them as well.
All right. I am really enjoying talking about the National Football League and all of these other teams, but I really would like to talk more Titans for a second. And Taylor Zarzour, you had the opportunity to sit down with the Titans' 2 first-round draft picks. And if you're cool with it, I would love to play that so that everybody can hear the conversation you guys had.
You are in charge tonight, and I love you being in charge, Amy Wells.
Let's do it. Let's roll Taylor Zarzour with the Titans' 2 first-round draft picks.
With the first-round draft picks for your Tennessee Titans, Carnell Tate and Keldrick Falk. How about that, guys? Congratulations. Welcome to Nashville.
Thank you. Sir, appreciate you.
I know you guys are pumped. Did you guys know each other at all before this all happened?
We did. We met on a visit, another team's visit. We were playing basketball together.
Okay. Yeah, and that was it, right? You never went to a banquet together, never went to a camp, nothing like that?
Nope.
And then you get connected as Tennessee Titans. Tell me about the plane ride down, how that was.
Man, I can't even remember the plane ride down. I was asleep, man.
Were you really? You slept the whole plane ride from Pittsburgh?
Yeah, because I ain't go to sleep till like 4 that morning.
Yeah, it was a long night waiting for all of that, Keldrick. I want to hear about your story. In fact, I know that you're in that room with Carnell and a bunch of other players. I mean, what were your nerves? What were your emotions like sitting in there?
Man, it was everything was just everywhere because I didn't know where I was going to end up.
Yeah.
I always told myself I ain't really care what number. I just cared about what system. And I felt like this was the best one for me.
Yeah. I don't think there's any question watching you play in college. This system fits you perfectly. So then then all of a sudden there's a trade, and the Tennessee Titans call you, and you go from wondering, am I going to get picked tonight? Right. Am I going to have to come back and do this tomorrow? To I am a Tennessee Titan. What did that feel like?
Man, it felt like the weight of the world was just lifted off my shoulders. Man, I was, like I said, just wondering if I was going to get picked tonight or tomorrow. And man, I'm extremely blessed, and I was extremely happy for them to call me.
Yeah, well, we all wondered if this was going to happen, and it all came together. And Carnell, we thought maybe it was just going to be you here today, and instead you got a teammate to ride down here with you, right?
Yes, sir. Thankful to be in this position with him, and we're just thankful for the Titans organization for believing in me. I got somebody I can go through this process with.
Were you surprised that the Titans called you at number 4?
I definitely was.
Were you really?
I was.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why's that?
I mean, my age, we talked about my circle, we talked about me going from 4 to 15. That was the range they just given me, but I was expected to go in a little bit of the middle of that number in that range. So, yeah, 4 was the earliest I can go, but I was still shocked.
Yeah. I know you had some meetings with the Titans. Yeah. I know you wanted to play with Cam Ward. Yeah. So when it becomes reality, what does that feel like?
It's excitement. You ready to go out there and show the world what you are, who you are, and who you think you are.
Do you take pride? Is it meaningful that you are the first wide receiver selected in this draft?
I definitely take pride in that. It's definitely meaningful. It speaks to who I am and all the work I put in.
There's all these Ohio State guys, 6 of them that have been drafted in the first round in the last 5 years. Obviously a unbelievable amount of talent that Coach Day and the coaching staff has recruited all over the country.
Yeah.
But why do you think that is? What is it about all these Buckeyes that are being drafted recently?
I think Coach Hart does a phenomenal job in pouring into us. He's played the game at the highest level, so he knows what it takes to ultimately get to the highest level. So he just comes back and pours as much love and as much as a game he learned into us, and that allows us to go out there and at the next level and execute.
What do you think? Give us an example of how you feel he prepared you to be a pro.
Yeah, he just taught me how to attack leverage, and then also just the details of the route running as far as the transitioning quicker in and out of your break. I mean, because that's what separates you in the league. That's what the difference between getting open and getting covered. And then also just finding different ways to flip DBs hip and cross face or not, or just run past them.
What do you think the identity of the Titans' new offense is?
Fast and violent. I think that's what we're going to go out there and do, play fast and play violent.
Yeah, and that's clearly the case on defense, too, Keldrick. You had a fantastic defensive coach in college named DJ Durkin, who I know you loved playing for the defense, still the defensive coordinator for the Auburn Tigers. How did he prepare you to play for the Titans?
Man, he just by putting me everywhere. It didn't matter what the game was. It could be in-game adjustments. He was like, man, we're gonna put you anywhere and everywhere, and you just gotta know. You just gotta be able to play it, and that's what I did. So he called everything aggressive, and then he just let me play free.
You said earlier that you really feel like you fit in the Titans' defensive scheme. What do you know about Coach Saleh and the defense that they are going to play around here?
That everything is attack based, and that's just what I like to do. This is what I've done at Auburn. You know, when you look at our defenses, it looks sort of similar. We play sort of the same up front. It's a little bit of details that's different here and there, but the majority of it is attack based.
I covered you at Auburn quite a bit, and you were an extraordinary teammate. You loved being with the boys. You were captain of your defense, loved working on playing football each day. But I also know you didn't watch a whole lot of football either. Is that right?
Yeah, I watched a lot of college football, not a lot of NFL football.
Yeah, and that's changing, obviously, starting now.
It's changing. So I started watching more NFL football once I got to, like, my sophomore year of college.
Yeah. And for you, though, Carnell, dreaming about being a pro goes way back. How about you? Have you watched a lot of pro ball?
I did. I always watch football. I try to watch as much football as possible. That way I'm learning something new each and every day.
You mentioned a Titan when you started talking about other receivers that you liked that perfected their craft. Who was that?
Calvin Ridley. I think he's a phenomenal route runner, and he does a great job changing up his different routes.
Have you talked to Rid yet?
I have not.
No?
No.
Yeah, I know you're excited to work with him.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah. And catching passes from Cam Ward, who loves to throw vertical balls down the field. I mean, that's got to be a dream come true.
Definitely is a dream come true. Cam wants to stretch the ball down the field, so, hey, here I am.
Keldrick just talked about playing free on defense.
Yeah.
You think you guys will have some freedom on offense, too?
Yeah, just playing free and being a dog. I think being a dog as far as the mindset, and then just playing free, going out there, make plays, and getting up celebrating with each other.
Yeah. And this is obviously a new coaching staff. They're creating something new with this team. How exciting is that for you guys to be kind of at the beginning of what they're trying to build here with the Titans, Keldrick?
Man, it's extremely exciting. I kind of did some of the same thing back in Auburn. When Coach Freeze was the head coach, and I was his first signee. Mm-hmm. So, it kind of feels some of the same. It kind of feels similar. So, I'm excited to, be on this journey and then, help this program get to where it needs to be.
Same with me. It means a lot. It showed that they have trust and belief in us in order to, it starts with us be the foundation of this program. We're their first class, so it means a lot for us, from me and Keldrick, to show the type of trust and the honesty the coach could put in us.
You're from Highland Home, Alabama, just south of Montgomery, and I know you're a lifelong country boy. Can you tell us a little bit more about your background?
Man, back where I'm from, there ain't a whole lot to do with nothing but fish, play ball, and work on cars. That's the only thing that there is to do. football, fish. I won't even put working on the car.
Do you fish?
No, I don't do none of that. I'm from Chicago. We don't do no fishing up there.
Darnell, I have news for you.
What?
You're going to have to learn. Because Cam Ward, your quarterback, fishes as much as Keldrick Falk does.
Nah,
and Jeff Simmons does too.
No, I ain't fish. I tried one time, didn't catch a fish, never went back.
I'm telling you, Carnell, you're going to come up to me at some point and say, man, I'm starting to fish now. It's part of what happens down here in the South.
Yeah. It comes with a patience. Sometimes I'm an impatient person when I don't catch no fish in the first 10 minutes. So it's time to go.
Weren't doing that in Chicago, huh?
No, not at all.
What were your big interests growing up outside of football?
Playing basketball, just hanging around, being a kid, just running up and down the streets of Chicago.
If you weren't a football player, what were you going to do?
Probably play basketball.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
try to go play basketball. Chicago's a big basketball city, so I was just going to try my luck on the court.
Keldrick, you said you hooped it with him. Can you vouch for his game?
Yeah, he can shoot. I ain't gonna lie, he can shoot the pill.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got a little jumper on him. He don't look ugly.
Are you a country music guy, Keldrick, now that you're here in Nashville?
Nah,
No,
I ain't
what's-
never been a country music.
What music are you listening to get ready?
Like Atlanta rap.
Okay. Yeah, which isn't too far away from you, just a couple hours away.
Just a couple hours.
Because I noticed when you were looking at the uniforms, you saw those strings, those guitar strings on the uniform. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was hard. That was hard.
You like the new uniforms?
Yeah, they're nice. The blue, yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah. Big changes around here, obviously, with the uniforms. Favorite all-time NFL player, Carnell, who is it?
Devontae Adams. He's an elite receiver, great route runner, great off the ball, and he also made plays.
Do you have one, Keldrick?
Probably say Cam Jordan.
Okay.
Man, that's a big, large, fast human being that can play anywhere across the D-line.
I sort of have my pick on this next question, but I'm interested to hear your answer to this, Keldrick. Who was the best dressed guy at the draft?
Gotta go with K-Fault, man.
Okay. Yeah, you're going with yourself, all right?
Don't go with me.
Yeah, you had a good look going there last night. Yeah.
Had a smooth look.
But I have to say, the all-white look last night, paying tribute to your mom, and then the shirt underneath, I was impressed.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah? Would you go with yourself for best dressed?
Oh, I definitely go with myself. I take pride in the dress and things, so yeah, I'm going myself.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, who's the second best dressed guy at the draft?
Second best. I'll probably go Keldrick now.
Okay, you go with each other. There you go. Good teammate answer there. Favorite college play that you ever made, Keldrick?
It's kind of like a two-play thing. I had 2 back-to-back sacks against Cal my sophomore year.
Yeah.
And man, the whole stadium just erupted like after the second one.
Yeah, that was great. Back to back. I remember that. How about you?
Probably say speak from this past year. The touchdown against Team Up North, our rival, and Ann Arbor.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, it was a big 40-yard play down the field.
And a breakout season for you as well. After winning a national championship, how badly do you want to help bring a championship? You've done this at the collegiate level. How important is it to do it at the professional level?
It's very important. Like I said, once you taste the top, you don't want to settle for nothing less. So if I've tasted what the top tastes like, then it's unfortunate to settle for less now.
Keldrick, I've been talking to you about this for years, about how badly you want to be part of something where you win a championship. How badly do you want to do that at this level?
I want to do that extremely bad. Like, back in high school, I won a lot. Like, we were a winning program back in high school. When I got to Auburn, it was highs, lows.
Yeah.
Some games we stayed mellow. But man, I feel like, this next part of the journey where we just adding pieces to the puzzle, and I feel like we're gonna build it to the point where we're, real life contenders.
Guys, we are fired up to have you as Tennessee Titans. Appreciate you being here with us.
Yeah,
today.
thanks for having us.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Titans fans, the future is on the clock as the Tennessee
This is all presented to you by Nobody Trashes Tennessee, which of course is brought to you by the Tennessee Department of Transportation. I'm Amy Wells, and I am here with all of Titans Radio's finest: Taylor Zarza, Ramon Foster, Rhett Bryan, Will Bowling. We are all here, and we're bringing you all of the action of round 2 of the NFL draft from Vanderbilt Health Football Center.
There it is.
In Nashville, Tennessee. I
Super
swear, by the end of the night, I'm going to say it without panicking. It's going to happen. I promise.
Vanderbilt Health Football Center.
It's going to take the entire day, but I'm going to get there. I promise I will. If you are just tuning in, you missed a really great interview with Taylor Zarza and the Tennessee Titans' 2 first-round draft picks. If you want to hear it, though, we can help you. It's going to be on the official Titans podcast, better known as the OTP. So head on over to wherever you get your podcasts, download that, and check out all of the other podcasts that we've had, because there's a lot of good stuff there. So if you are not a subscriber to the OTP, now is your time. You can also find it on the Titans YouTube channel.
That was a great interview.
So go find that.
TZ.
Yeah,
TZ did a great job.
Those are very interesting young fellas, and by just hearing them speak about the things that you ask them about confirms what I thought. They're Titans.
Yeah, they are. They're team guys, and you can really sense it as you're talking to them. I had a chance to visit with them on 2 separate occasions today here in the facility, and then we went over to Titans House and talked to them in front of a bunch of fans. And what was really cool is there was a bunch of fans that were trying to talk to them as I was talking to them, and they all and I did love it, actually, and both of them, Keldrick and Carnell, started answering their questions and just were very approachable, easy to be around. It just, even though they're so young at 21 years old, they're approachable, wise beyond their years, and team guys. But I am so fired up, Ramon, to have a deep threat like Carnell Tate. Calvin Ridley and Carnell Tate, both stretching the field vertically. You're thinking you're probably going to, Wan'Dale Robinson could play all of the positions and did last year for the Giants. But if you can put him in the slot and you put those guys stretching the field vertically, wow.
That's what you do. You're giving yourself space on the field with how they have drafted Carnell Tate, man. As you just mentioned a second ago, you got 2 guys outside and allowing Wan'Dale to play close to the line of scrimmage, down the doggone post, or just coming back and just doing a long drag across the field, too. Like, it is a good setup. And, again, if teams didn't look at the measurables and all the things of the combine that it provides to you, you think this is a great pick. And it is a great pick for the Titans, because this is a team that is still building a baseline of quality talent, and Carnell Tate satisfies that. And again, I heard him also in other interviews mention, his reluctancy to leave Ohio State, or knowing that he was playing behind. Everybody speaks about Jeremiah Smith. And you know what you got to love about him? It's like, I didn't want to transfer out. I wanted to continue to challenge myself when it came down to me solidifying and making myself stand out. And you know what he did? Turn himself into the 4th overall draft pick. So that's the side of it to where you say, Red, like, the Tennessee Tough component of what you drafted is embedded in him.
And contested catch is where he shines.
Hands.
Route tree is really good. Hands are really good. Coach Mack would always talk about the red line.
Yeah.
And that is the invisible line from the 5-yard line in to the boundary.
Yes.
And how a good DB will win that red line.
Basically push you out towards.
Make the boundary your friend.
2
the 12th
on 1,
defender.
basically.
Right?
Yep, 2 on 1.
This guy, and it was kind of talked about today about how Mike Borgonzi said how he contorts his body to make catches and do those things. And Carnell Tate thought that was funny the way it was described.
I think it was a phrasing thing.
It was a phrasing thing.
The way that body contortion just threw him off somehow.
But to your point, TZ, to be able to stretch the field, to be able to win that red line, I mean, life just got a little easier for the Elikiah Manners, the Chim DKs, and the Gunnar Helms of the world. Yes, and for that matter, for Calvin Ridley.
It did.
And for Tony Pollard.
Yes.
And Tajay Spears. I mean, you think about it last year, Will, with an inability to stretch the field, and Tajay Spears missing the first 4 games of the season, Tony Pollard was your workhorse and still had over 1,000 yards rushing. on a team that only won 3 games and couldn't stretch the field vertically.
Right.
Now you do have all those weapons. And so you're going to have to pay attention to those guys down the field. That opens things up for Tony Pollard and for Spears in the running game.
Yeah, and I think there are very few quarterbacks who love throwing vertical routes more than Cam Ward. I think that is what he wants to do if he was building an offense himself. But we saw late last season how much better and more comfortable Cam Ward looked in this offense when the Titans were able to consistently run the football. And that started with that win in Cleveland, where they were able to just assert their will and play old school AFC Central football. And I think this team will go into 2026 now under the leadership of an offensive coordinator who can play AFC Central football and new AFC East Buffalo Bills football in his leadership. And Brian Daboll receivers can all run. Some of them have been bigger guys, some of them smaller guys. The consistent part of it is Brian Daboll loves a receiver that can run. And Carnell Tate, you watch the film of what he does. He runs past defenders time and time again.
And just for the construction of this team, you're going to have a young quarterback with a young receiving core for the most part. Calvin Ridley obviously is a very experienced guy, but for the most part, the weapons that Cam Ward is going to have are going to be growing up with him. And so having that fifth-year option for your receiver who's going to be such a big threat. But then, oh, by the way, the Mike Borgonzi magic of it all
That's a great point.
is that you're also going to have that fifth-year option for Keldrick Fox. So now 2 sides of your ball are going to have these foundational cornerstone players that you have for an extended period of time. Financially, that makes so much sense. And just for the evolution of this team to all be able to build together, that's such a powerful thing, not just for right now, but like 2-3 years from now. Think about what you could have.
It's probably the most important thing that's been said in this hour, what she just said right there, because the overwhelming majority of the team is on a rookie deal.
It is.
You know, and it is. It's an excellent point. And so all of them
team has money.
growing together. I did find it very funny today when Carnell Tate said he watched Cam Ward growing up. I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
everybody in the control room kind of freaked out a little bit.
Yeah.
He mentioned him at his time up in the Pacific Northwest.
If he told me he watched me growing up, I'd understand it.
Yeah.
My boy, y'all are the same age. What are we doing? What are we doing here?
Hey, Brett,
boy.
I know we need to take a break, but real quickly, Denzel Boston, Washington. He went to, Denzel Boston, the wide receiver, went to Cleveland. R. Mason Thomas, edge, went to Kansas City. Cassius Howell, edge, went to Cincinnati. Kristen Miller, defensive tackle from the Dogs, went to New Orleans. Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker, went to Miami. Derek Moore, edge, just went to Detroit, who pulled off a trade. Any of those you like?
I mean, I like all of them, pretty much. Denzel Boston was really at the bottom of Pod 1 in the wide receiver board, in the draft board that I did with Mack and Spirit and me in person. That's a good, and they took KC Concepcion last night. So, I mean, they're trying to, put points on the board in this. R. Mason Thomas, really nice pass rusher. That's a good Kansas City pick, and that's something that was one of their needs in this. They needed somebody to help Chris Jones and George Karlaftis up front, and that's why they went that direction tonight. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to have more coverage of the 2026 NFL Draft is ahead. Before we do that and continue, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. Your home for the 2026 Titans is right here. This is Titans Radio. Titans Radio's coverage of the 2026 NFL Draft is presented to you by Nobody Trashes Tennessee, brought to you by the Tennessee Department of Transportation.
Tennessee Titans keep adding talent as you listen to coverage of the 2026 NFL Draft. The selections keep coming. In 2 minutes, this is Titans Radio.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is to let them know that they're safe, that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad. And I feel very proud to be his son.
That was what he needed, and he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Coverage of the 2026 NFL Draft rolls on. We are in hour number 2 of day 2, round 2. So many twos. And we are coming to you from the Vanderbilt Health Center. Guys, I wrote it down. So now
you did.
I'll say
I watched
it
you
right
do it.
every single time.
No.
There is so much going on. And we've got to sneak this one in because it's very important to me. The Baltimore Ravens just selected pick number 45 of round 2.
MIZ.
Yeah, it's a Missouri Tiger, so I had to tell you guys about it. Zion Young is off the board. He is a Baltimore Raven. Guys, you've liked Zion Young.
Yes, that would have been,
Absolutely.
had they not taken Keldrick Falk, that would have been somebody that might have been somewhere around the 35th pick that they
crazy.
kept originally. That fits the bill. He's 6'6", 262, long arms, 33 inches, good wing, over 1,000 snaps in his last couple of years. He was a guy that turned it on at the Senior Bowl in Mobile. And pass rush win rate went up year over year, converts speed to power. That's, as much as I hate to say it, a good pick for the Baltimore Ravens.
You want to hear something funny about this?
Go.
My notes and my summary on him is a lot of development is left for him, the right situation, professional training, and the sky's the limit for him. I feel of all guys, he and Keldrick Falk have the most untapped potential.
There you go.
Wow.
I was
That's
gonna
a
say-
good little
There you
note.
go.
You just said exactly, and I know you hadn't looked at my notes.
No, I have not,
I have not looked at your notes either, and I was just going to say, I mean, their makeup is extremely similar. They're the exact same height. They have a crazy wingspan. They have great reach with long arms. We did a game in the snow, Mizzou, Arkansas.
It was in the snow.
I guess that was not this past year, but the year before. And my broadcast partner on SEC football, Matt Stinchcomb, said, if not for Will Anderson has the longest arms I've ever seen. I mean, they're crazy, and he's made hundreds of millions of dollars because of them. But Zion Young, does. I mean, he can make these crazy moves, getting around tackles.
No doubt.
Not like Ramon Foster, but other tackles.
But I had just as long as arms he did, and I had the stature behind it. No, I'm just playing. But seriously, it's a young man's game. But he's the type, to your point, where if he does it right, pressure could mean sacks for him, or to your point, Taylor, he can reach over and grab a quarterback if you allow him in the pocket.
I love the thing, too, on Zion Young, and Dame Brugler and the Beast had a quote from an NFL scout saying, energy for days, you hear him before you see him. I was like, is he from Atlanta? Brazelton, Georgia, where he was just having his live spots.
There you go.
It's consistent. And Amy, another Missouri Tiger has just gone back to back.
We're going to have to break in here because while I'm doing the mandatory Mizzou announcements, linebacker Josiah Trotter just went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, pick number 46. So that's also a very exciting thing. MIZ, good job, guys.
And how about this? Last night, For the first time in 20 seasons, the Southeastern Conference did not have the most picks in the first round. The Big Ten had 10 picks. The SEC had 7. The SEC is dominating the second round so far here tonight. We've had 14 picks made. 8 of the 14 picks so far in the second round are from the SEC.
Wow. Will Bowling, it is your time to shine. I see the words trade.
Yes.
And I need to know more.
It is a trade with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Indianapolis Colts.
Fire up the towels.
The Steelers have moved up. I imagine Renegade is being played right now up there.
Yes.
They will get picks 47 and 249. The Colts will move back 6 spots and receive 53, 135, and 237.
Last night during the first round, or the first round of the draft, the Steelers, when they picked, played Renegade in its entirety. They all paused and had a moment for Renegade, and I stood and watched it happen. And as much as being the opposing team, you hate that song because they play it over and over and over and over and over in the week of practice leading up to it. So you just want to scream. It is one of the cooler things in professional sports, and while I don't enjoy it, I do very much respect it because it's a very cool moment.
It is. As a player that sits on the bench because they only play it for the defense, I'm not jealous.
I was like, why are you sitting on the bench,
but it makes you get up. Because it is a moment. Usually it can go good, but there's been times where it goes bad as well. And this pick right here for the Steelers is a result of how they got leapfrogged last night as well. With the selection of Jeremy Bernard, I guess I should go ahead and announce that.
You should.
I can say that. Pittsburgh is equipping themselves. Now, again, they don't have a veteran quarterback. They got Will Howard on their roster as well. And I'm wondering, is this amount of weapons that they're accumulating with Michael Pittman Jr., DK Metcalf, and now Jeremy Bernard out of Alabama, are they trying to push all chips to the middle and say, Aaron, this is what we have for you. Do you want to come back? Because he's been mum and they have too as far as a veteran quarterback.
Boy, was Alabama fortunate to have him last year. I don't know what on earth was going on with Ryan Williams.
Crazy.
I mean, that crazy. I mean, just how they got almost no productivity from Ryan Williams last year.
Drops out the wazoo, too.
Yes, but going from a freshman to a sophomore is a significant drop-off. But he became Ty Simpson's guy last year, Rome.
He did, and he showed it. He was the most consistent guy that they had. He was sure-handed. He was tough. Not only is he a wide receiver, but to me, I feel like he's a shiftier, not as fast as we think he is, but he, to me, is like Deebo Samuels the way Alabama used him last year as well. He came out the backfield, end arounds, wide receivers around, and just tough.
You know what he is?
What's that?
He's Hines Ward.
There it is. Every team has a type, don't they?
He's Hines Ward.
Yep.
And think about this. When he came out of Georgia all those years ago, his profile was similar. Wasn't the biggest, fastest, strongest, whatever.
Yes.
Jeremy Bernard didn't test the world record grade. I mean, he still did 4.48 in the 40, 1.52 in the 10. There's a burst right there. But he had 32.5-inch vert, 10.5 broad. But here's the thing. He's got the lateral agility. He had a 6.71 3-cone drill, fastest time of any position group at the combine. 6'1", 206, arms 30 and 3/8. He's one of a couple receivers in this draft that are probably the surest bets to give you production at the next level.
And what's wild about them taking Jeremy Bernard as well is Roman Wilson out of Michigan hadn't lived up to his billing as a second-round draft pick as well. That's why Jeremy Bernard's in the building.
And that'll be interesting because he used to be with Sparty. He was at Michigan State before he transferred to Washington and then to Alabama.
Well, as Will told us, Pittsburgh just trades into that pick to take Bernard. Indianapolis trades out of the pick. The Colts still have not made a pick in this draft. There are 5 teams that have not made a pick, but the Falcons are one of those 5 teams, Will, and they're picking right now. Why don't you go ahead and break some news for the world if you have I don't know if you have the pick yet.
On Avion Terrell, I do have
okay,
the pick.
there
Yes,
it is.
I do have the pick.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually didn't mean to say that. I meant to say for the Atlanta Falcons. But yes, for Avion Terrell going to the Atlanta. I was writing it down in my master Google Doc here, and there you go. So Avion Terrell with his brother AJ. The Terrell brothers will share a defense together.
They'll share the
in Atlanta.
secondary.
I was focused on that being a cool story, and I let it slip.
Well, that's okay. I'm glad you reminded us of that because that's kind of a rare thing. That hasn't happened too many times.
That's right.
How about this? I mean, we're in I guess, we're exactly through the middle part of the second round right now, and there are 4 teams that still have not made a pick in the draft. The Green Bay Packers, 2 teams in our division, the Indianapolis Colts and the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Denver Broncos. Those 4 teams yet to make a selection.
I feel like the Green Bay Packers have a history of not making very many picks. You said Packers, and I thought, oh, okay, yeah. It's like the Cleveland Browns are the same in my brain, and it's just from, this is not mathematical at all or scientific, but having been to a fair amount of drafts over the years, you always saw, like, the Browns PR guy sitting in a corner, like, just eating snacks, and he never moves. Okay. And it's because they would always do all these crazy trades, and they never, like, they just, like, were wheeling and dealing their trades all the time. They never actually picked any people. And so, like, my brain is like, oh, yeah, the Browns never draft anybody. That's not true. I mean, we know that's not true, and we've seen them make some substantial moves in this. But historically, my brain is like, oh, no, they don't pick players.
Let me say this. Of the 8 teams that, starting tonight, had not made a pick in this draft, one of them is like one of the teams at the bottom last night in the Seattle Seahawks, the world champs. And they ended up taking Darian Price, the other Notre Dame running back. They are one of the 2 of 32 teams that had probably the least pressing needs, that are just so built to keep things going. The other is the Denver Broncos, who have not taken a pick yet. And they, I mean, listen, if Bo Nix doesn't have a broken ankle before that playoff game that he injured in the closing minutes of the previous one, they might be the ones that have hoisted the trophy. Yes. I mean, there's a lot of people believe that, but they don't need as much as some of these other teams do. And that's a luxury to have.
And you could argue that their pick was Jalen Waddle, because they traded away their pick for Jalen Waddle, who, of course, left the Miami Dolphins, and the Dolphins took their second pick last night. So, yeah, Avion Terrell is an Atlanta Falcon, and there's still a few teams that are all 4 of the teams actually that have not made a selection are scheduled to make a pick here in the second round.
That's right. They are, and we are, with some of the guys at the top of the board, still waiting on Jermod McCoy, the corner from Tennessee, who remains on the board at this point. You have Minnesota, the New York Jets, who have been one of the busier teams about to come up here in just a moment. But, yeah, you do have Green Bay and Indy. We're going to have to get used to also Indy not making picks. So their PR people will have to get good snacks to have at the NFL draft, because their first-round pick next year is gone, too.
I was not making a comment about the Browns nor the Browns staff.
Wow, I have this picture in my head right now.
I'm tracking.
There is nothing else to do
I'm just going to sit over here and eat some popcorn.
If you must know, it was a cheesecake is what I'm remembering.
Oh, that's great.
But there's nothing else to do but eat while you're waiting for your team to make a pick. The media room is usually just a big open space, and we're all just kind of sitting, staring at the wall, waiting for, like, our turn when, like, things get going. So there's nothing else to do except for, like, peruse whatever snacks are laid out for the media at that time. So that was not commentary on anybody or the way that they, spend their time.
Oh, that man was just trying to get some nourishment, and you made fun of him. That's all it was.
I wasn't making fun of him. I mean, I, too, was at the snack table, which is how I know he was
Cheesecake
there.
is the best dessert. He had good taste.
I know. I was doing the same thing.
We do have a quick trade, guys. The Carolina Panthers are now on the clock. They have just made a trade with the Minnesota Vikings at pick 49. And I hoped by the time, there it is. Now there are the terms. Panthers get 51 and 159. The Vikings get 49 and 196. So you look at the price there. To move up 2 spots, they're moving back 37 spots later in the draft, the Carolina Panthers with the Minnesota Vikings.
Took the Georgia offensive lineman, right? In the first round, Carolina did.
Monroe Freeling.
Yeah.
Talented tackle.
Yeah. I got, obviously lived in North Carolina for a long time. I got some texts from some buddies last night say, how come the draft always goes to commercial when the Panthers are about to draft? I said, I don't know that that's true. But
I feel like the Titans do that a lot, too.
Yeah.
You should tell them win more. That's usually how you get a little bit more TV time in those situations,
man. I feel compelled to take a break right now just because it's like the thing we're talking about.
The Carolina Panthers are on the clock. Let's go to bed. That's great.
Right?
That was good.
Like the
we're due for one.
All right. Hey, everybody, we're going to take a quick quick break, just mainly to make fun of Taylor Zarzour, but we're going to have more draft coverage on the other side of this break, so stick around. Of the 2026 NFL Draft is right here on Titans Radio. It is presented to you by Nobody Trashes Tennessee, brought to you by the Tennessee Department of Transportation. We are back from a break that we took because the Carolina Panthers were on the clock, and Taylor Zarzour made a joke, and I'm in charge, so I just had to run with it.
Love it.
But while we were in break, besides the Carolina Panthers picking a player, who did they pick, Taylor Zarzour?
Lee Hunter out of Texas Tech, defensive tackle.
All right. While we were doing that, a little Will Bowling news that's a little fun and colorful, a little bit different.
Yeah, the first ever game in Rio de Janeiro has its opponents on Sunday, September the 27th. The NFL has announced that the Cowboys will play the Ravens. NFL football going to Rio, two big brands, two 2026 Tennessee Titans opponents playing one another in Rio Sunday, September 27th on CBS at 3:25 p.m. Central.
Rio's a cool place. That would be a fun place to go to a game.
Definitely would like to put that on the bucket list for sure.
Yeah, that would be a cool one.
And I would like to play one of those teams the following week.
Now they went to 3 overtimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
No, but the international games, as they are expanding, I mean, now there's international games all over the place.
Australia this time.
Yeah, and they're in so many places that, like, I would like to go there. I would like to have a reason to go to Australia. Although, I mean, that's...
Good eye.
It's a heck of a flight.
That's quite the flight.
It
and,
is.
I mean, for an athlete especially... That's got to mess with your body pretty substantially.
I've done the London trip, and like all I would tell the young guys, become a starter, okay? Because you get the seats that stretch out a little bit further, and sitting straight up in those seats are bothersome. But I go back to conversations with Coach Mack about how big this league is and how much, Roger Goodell and the NFL have done to build this brand up to where the game may not be played in every country like soccer or basketball, right? But when you talk about the game of American football, it is well known and streamed in places where they go to Ireland, Australia. We're talking about South America and whatnot as well. And the continuation to go back and forth to London, I loved it, to be quite honest with you. I had a blast with it. I've gone over also with Titans Radio to London too, just working the sidelines, and I enjoy it because when you see other people from different countries who don't fully understand it but love the action, that's what the NFL does to Americans as well, and we're just pure sickos about it.
They cheer the whole time because nobody really knows the rules, but everybody is just excited to be there, so it's just like continuous cheering, which is great.
Well, let me say this. I'm going to interrupt it. Because all of our friends listening on the Titans app tonight overseas, listen, I'm gonna come behind Amy Wells' last statement right there. There's a lot of you that have learned the game.
Oh, yes.
Because we have a lot of Titans fans everywhere around the world, and some of those folks are really, hardcore like they are here. And you're right, it wasn't that many years ago. It's like, we're cheering the kicking, the punters, and let's see. It's not that way anymore.
No, it's a good point, and you're right. I did a video. Cam Ward actually helped me with it for a Titans fan over in Ireland right now, and you're right, they are just swept up with it.
They are,
but they do sing country roads in Sweet Carolina a whole lot over there
because they're American songs.
That's right,
and that's what you do.
That's exactly right.
And it's every jersey you've ever seen. It just in one stadium. It's the most colorful, fantastic thing. I love it.
Ramon's right, though. You need to flatten out on those flights.
Yeah.
Very important. If you're going to cross water, you need to be able to lay down and flatten out in your seat.
I caught a rib bruise. I had to imagine me, an offensive line, getting a bruised rib, and it was the most uncomfortable flight I've ever had in my life on an airplane. It was 6+ hours of pain. No sleep and just tiredness from there on out.
Did you win that game?
No. We were 0-4 to start that season.
Was it the rib bruise?
I finished the game. I didn't pull hey, coach, my hamstring. Well, I was too slow to pull my hamstring.
You're going to say like a skill player?
Yeah, like a skill player. Look at my pinky. Okay, no, I didn't play that game.
How about this, Will? The New York Jets are making their 4th pick in the draft right now.
Crazy.
This is the 50th pick in the draft right now that the Jets are making, and Curtis Martin is at the podium announcing the pick right now. Great career he had with the Jets and with the Patriots. And they take D'Angelo Pons, cornerback from Indiana, with that pick. But how about the fact that the Jets have made 4 of the first 50 picks, and there are 4 teams that haven't made any of the first 50 picks?
It's incredible. And with this pick, they're getting their head coach, Rhett. They're getting a younger version of Aaron Glenn, who was an undersized corner as well. Now, the defense helped in addition to the offense they got later yesterday, and obviously David Bailey, Russian coverage, worked together that they picked up at number 2.
Well, they stockpiled picks because it's going to be this way next year. They'll have a bunch of selections. A more recent comp is he has similar frame and measurements to Antoine Winfield Jr., who was drafted back in 2020. 5'8" and 5'8", 182 pounds. Hands 9 and 5/8, pretty good size hands for a guy that is on the smaller side as a corner. Arm 29 and 3/8, wings only 72 and a quarter. But it is not about the dog in the fight; it's the fight and the dog in this. This guy, 43.5-inch vert at the combine, ball skills plus 7 career interceptions, plus athlete, plus a good tackler. Yes, the height and length are not there, but he just plays with a ferocious nature. Like I really liked watching him at Indiana.
The beautiful part about his game is he's one of those Kurt Signetti transplants that came over from JMU, James Madison University.
Yep.
And you know what he said? He said, watch me elevate my play. And that's what you mentioned when you're talking about Aaron Glenn, those types of guys. I enjoy the smaller school jump to the bigger school and watch them still flourish. I think that shows almost more sometimes than guys that do really well at one university or at the same school sometimes, because this proves to me like there's a different level to the NFL. And I say that in a very cocky way. Like, if you can show that you can go from a smaller school to a big school and elevate your play to an All-American status or contribute to a national championship and still become a high pick, I want to be in a foxhole with those types of dudes. I love them types.
You're right, because he is one of nearly 90 examples, or however many you would say is on the roster, with Curt Cignetti and the national champion Hoosiers. That made up what they are. Like, they bought in and they elevated Elijah Surratt, same kind of thing.
Absolutely, yes.
Omar Cooper Jr., same kind of thing.
His Jets teammate, Omar Cooper Jr.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
And those guys all went and really took the buy-in with Curt Cignetti and had a magical season in a program that has not had magical seasons in a long time.
In my lifetime, that's probably one of the best stories. Like, this is movie worth with what Indiana did. I don't know if they'll get a Hoosiers out of it, but
it's like Hoosiers, the football edition.
No, seriously, modern day. They bought a good old roster, but
I'll say this, and you're right. It was the essence of a college of a team.
It was. It
really
right?
was.
No, absolutely, and that's what a lot of teams are going to try to mimic. But the reality is that is a once in a 10-year type of season that they have for coaches that say, watch me do this with all these transfer to school that's not supposed to have this happen.
A guy that we've had our eyes on all night was just selected by the Minnesota Vikings, guys. Jake Golday, linebacker from Cincinnati, is now a Minnesota Viking.
Former stand-up DN pass rusher at Central Arkansas transfers to play for the Bearcats at 6'4", 240. And the Bearcats defense used him all over the place, even at that size. He has really good skill set to drop back into coverage in the second level. He played over nearly 500 snaps in the slot.
Exactly.
For them.
And you watch him, and you're trying to find him on tape, and you realize, oh, he's on the edge. And then you find him, he's in the slot, to your point. Oh, and then he's an off-ball linebacker. He, to me, is a weapon, man. The way I look at him, he's a guy that plays well at the line of scrimmage, and that's his primary position. But he also seems like a natural edge rusher. He's 6'5", 240. He's got room to grow with what you're asking him to do. I think he fits Minnesota's defense. Well, they're type historically that they've kind of gone after with this type of group. He reminds me a little bit of Kyle Vandenbosch of the Dallas Cowboys, probably a little bit thinner and a little bit more athletic.
He last committed a penalty.
My bad, Vander Esch.
Leighton Vander Esch, yep.
Yes.
He last committed a penalty during his redshirt year in 2021.
How about that?
It's hard to do as a linebacker. Hit 22.1 miles per hour in practice, according to Dane Brugler from Memphis, Tennessee. Teammate of one Kenneth Walker, who just won the Super Bowl MVP for Arlington High School right outside of Memphis.
How about that?
No doubt about it.
With the Packers, I'm kind of surprised they haven't gone safety in this, because Harrison Smith is, what's he, 36 years old?
What a
and had a fantastic career.
Yep.
I figured that's somebody that they would, or a position they would take a look at, and maybe they do, later on tonight or tomorrow.
Sure.
Red, I know you've been through all of this in the history of the Tennessee Titans, but it is kind of wild. You're looking at these teams right here. Green Bay, the pick is in right now. We're about to learn who it is in just a moment. The 52nd pick is their first pick in the draft. Indianapolis, their first pick is the 53rd pick in the draft.
They don't need any more players. They're good.
Jacksonville.
I love that.
Jacksonville has the 56th pick. That'll be their first selection. And Denver's first selection is the 62nd pick in the draft tonight.
And again, of those you mentioned, Denver's the one that can really afford that. Because the others still have needs in places. Like Indianapolis, they have needs on defense at all three levels. They really do. And if you're going to keep up in the arms race that the AFC South is becoming, because say what you want about C.J. Stroud, he can still make you pay.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence had a fantastic year under Liam Coleman his first year in Jacksonville. And, of course, Cameron Anthony Ward plays right here for the Tennessee Titans.
I'll tell you the consistent thing about all those teams, Taylor, is good line play. All of those teams you just named who haven't picked yet should feel solid about where they are in the trenches. And that is obviously what you need with a lot of those first and second round picks. You go get big guys that can move, because God didn't make a lot of them. And those teams will feel pretty good about where they're at with that. We saw it firsthand in Denver last season on both sides of the football with the two trench groups that they had. And now John Franklin Myers is part of our team.
And that was their major departure in free agency. They didn't really have anything that was super counterproductive to them. And he was the big one they lost, and I'm glad that they did.
Well, that's why I make friends with people like Ramon Foster. I like to keep the big people around me. And again, Amy, we're thinking the Tennessee Titans will have the 69th pick, in the draft tonight after the trade. that they pulled off at the end of the first round last night with the New England Patriots, but we're expecting them to have the 69th pick in the draft. So that is,
third round?
In the third round. So that's
Yeah.
17 picks from now.
Yep. Still
And
a
the clock
ways to go.
will go quicker also in the third round.
That's
correct?
right.
We'll go from 7 to 5 as well, so it might reel off quick.
Yep.
Some good players on the board.
Absolutely.
It still is.
Well, I think this is a good time to take another break. And when we come back, we're going to kind of reset, get the lay of the land, and we are continue through the end of the second round of the 2026 NFL Draft. We are so happy to have you here with us on Titans Radio. No matter how you are listening to us, if you're listening to us locally on 104.5 The Zone, that's great. If you're listening to us on one of our partner stations, thank you, thank you, thank you. We love having you with us. Also, if you're streaming us, whether it be on TennesseeTitans.com or on the Titans app, we are so excited to have you here. The Indianapolis Colts are about to make their first pick of the NFL Draft, and Pat McAfee has just walked out onto the stage.
Let's listen to that.
Let's tune into this and see what's about to happen here.
Are you Yinzers getting exhausted from so much football celebration?
Worth noting, he is from this area, so this is extra.
He is a Yinzer.
He's a Yinzer.
In Pittsburgh.
Downtown.
NFL Draft Compound, Pittsburgh Yinzers, congratulations. Now, the Indianapolis Colts first-round draft pick was Sauce Gardner, and he's better than all of your first-round picks for sure.
It's a trade, by the way.
The Indianapolis Colts have not won the AFC South in 12 years. That changes this year. Jim Irsay from the football heavens cured Daniel Jones's torn Achilles. Michael Pittman got sent to the Steelers.
He's shooting a wrestling promo here.
We got football gods with the 53rd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The AFC South Kings, Indianapolis Colts select C.J. Allen, linebacker from Georgia.
All right, well, before we do this, I would like to comment that was a lot more tame than I expected it to be, and I can breathe. All right,
No dump button. No dump button.
No dump button.
No dump button. C.J. Allen, one of the underclassmen in this, 6'1", 235, and tough athlete, very good run defender. And how tough? meniscus injury versus Texas Tech in November. Had that procedure to clean it up, came back 11 days later. One of the better off-ball linebackers in this draft, and we said in all these OTPs leading up to this event that night 2 was a place where you could start to see a run on these, and there was many as 12 deep that were really good players for you. Jacob Rodriguez has already been taken by the Dolphins tonight. He's one for sure.
He was the leader of that defense last year, Ramon. There's an unquestioned leader of the defense for the Dogs last year. And I was around the program late in the year, and he was practicing days after he got that knee cleaned up. He is a guy that is a hard worker. Everybody laughs and makes funny comments about Kirby Smart yelling with his megaphone in practice. C.J. Allen doesn't have a megaphone, but he's yelling just as loud as Kirby Smart is in practice. He's the kind of guy you want in the heart of your defense.
Yeah,
he really is.
They had needs at all 3 levels of the defense, and this is one of the things that helps them, unfortunately, for the AFC South. I don't know about AFC South champions there. Pat McAfee, you might want to back off on the WWE promos you're shooting at the draft there.
That's why he was a little bit more tame right there, Amy, by the way.
He knew he was writing some checks that he may or may not be able to cash. That's okay, man. I appreciate the confidence, I guess we'll call it.
No doubt.
And right before that, Brandon Cisse was taken, Will. He was taken by the Green Bay Packers.
Yes, South Carolina corner Brandon Cisse, who I know you saw last season as well, but Brandon Cisse, as that first pick for Green Bay, was 43rd on Daniel Jeremiah's top 150, 45th on Dame Brugler's board, 5'11", 189, 41-inch vertical, 4'4", 140 at his pro day, a 10'11 broad jump. He is still 20 years old, Rhett. He is a young prospect. He is the 18th best run defender among corners, according to Pro Football Focus last season. He carries that kind of tough mentality that they will want out of the cornerback position there in the NFC North.
47 completion rate against in 2025, 89.2 run defense grade, straight line speed, good key and diagnose. The production is a question there because he only has 2 career interceptions, but the athlete and the person and the stature, it's there.
It was, and the rotational guy, and also is not bothered, Cisse is, by playing press either. He is good at the line of scrimmage. He has a tenacity about him, and he's good in and out of his breaks as well. Just, again, rotational guy is going to have to play a bigger role now with Green Bay.
A couple of years ago in a production meeting, I asked Nick Eamon-Worry of the South Carolina Gamecocks, now with the world champion Seattle Seahawks. I said, who's the next Nick Eamon-Worry? And he said, his first name's Brandon, but I don't know how to say his last name. True story.
Him saying that with his last name?
That's true. That's true. Hey, and the SEC players continue to be selected, Amy, and one from Nashville, Tennessee. At least that's where he finished his collegiate career. Eli Stowers, the tight end from Vanderbilt, Diego Pavia's favorite target, just selected by the Philadelphia Eagles with the 54th pick. This guy was a quarterback coming out of high school. He was the third-string quarterback for Texas A&M originally with his career, and he transferred to New Mexico State to battle it out with Diego Pavia and play quarterback. They moved him to tight end, and he became one of the best tight ends in college football. Transferred to Vanderbilt in the last 2 years. He was unstoppable for the Commodores.
He was, and he has got unbelievable speed. 4.5, 140. Rhett, 45 and a half inches.
Set the record for vert.
In the vertical. I had to triple check and make sure it wasn't a typo. 2.55 yards per route run for
like
Eli Stowers.
Superhero tall.
It is.
And they were showing on NFL Network his high jump tape as well from high school. He is a legit high jumper.
Texas State champ as a high jumper there, and 11-foot 3-inch broad jump at the combine. And what an interesting athlete this guy is. And listen, he's what tight ends for the most part in the last decade have been drafted. He's a big wide receiver. He really is.
He is.
Yep.
And he's just what you've got there. Really good hands, good route runner, explosive by those measurables that Will Bowling brought up. Good feet in all of this. And when we did the OTP, I said, a comp style player for him. He's like Evan Ingram.
Yeah. And what's fascinating, too, I felt like just pre-draft, he was a Philadelphia Eagle if there ever was one. Okay, like they always find guys, of course, with Jalen Hurts, they got to have a guy that they can play close to the line of scrimmage. They always look for mismatches with the way their team is set up. And again, with whatever happens, and we don't know because nothing happened yet, but whatever happens with A.J. Brown, they got a security blanket with two guys right now, Mekhi Lemon in the first round, and now with Eli Stowers in the second.
And Zach Ertz is not getting any younger.
They playing for it. Good teams, right? This is what we're learning. Which when you look at the Carnell Tate and Keldrick Falk situation, you plan for the next era, and that's what Philadelphia does a good job at.
They do not have a single tight end on roster past this season. The Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, there you go.
0 tight ends.
And Zach
under
Ertz is
contract.
33, 34?
Yeah.
So there you go.
12 of the 22 players selected in the second round are from the Southeastern Conference.
My headphones was messed
Let
up.
me say
that in the back.
Hey, let me say that one more time for the people in the back.
Turn it up.
12 players from the best conference on earth. The Southeastern Conference.
Taylor. Keep playing the hits, baby.
There's another trade, Will Bowling.
There is another trade. The New England Patriots are on the clock, one of those teams that may be in the mix for a potential A.J. Brown trade. The Chargers have traded back 8 spots. The Patriots give up 3 picks to move up. They give up 63, 131, and 202 to the L.A. Chargers, who move back and take those 3. So 55, New England is now on the clock.
New England went from where to where again? I missed that
New
part.
England went from 63 to 55 with the Chargers. The Chargers get 63, 131, 202.
Well, while we're waiting for them to make a pick, the New England Patriots, I think this would be a good opportunity to take a moment to talk about the shirts that we are all wearing. Because if you are watching us on Zone TV or on YouTube or any of those places where you can be watching us via the stream. Are those even the right words?
Yep.
What am I, 68 years old? I don't know.
Makes
if you're
sense to me.
watching this, you can see that we are wearing black T-shirts that say Coach Mack on them. They have a picture of Mack. And they are to honor our friend who is no longer with us. Coach Mack passed away a week and a half ago.
10 days.
Yeah, and we are missing him. We are feeling the loss of our friend, of course, but we're also feeling him in this room with us. And he'd never miss a draft, no matter what. And so we're thinking about him, and we're thinking about his family, of course. But fun fact about these shirts is that while we are previewing them tonight, the entire Titans personnel team will be wearing them tomorrow in the draft room.
I love that.
So when they tune in on the cameras that are in the draft room on the broadcast, you'll be able to see them all in their Coach Mack standard issue black uniform
I think that's great.
wearing their shirts. So awesome thing for Mike Borgonzi and Robert Sala and everybody downstairs to want to be a part of that and wanting to commemorate Coach Mack and all the ways that he's contributed not only to the Titans and what we do here, but to the entire NFL.
Mack, I can hear his laugh right now, and he is enjoying that fact so much. And I want you, if you're listening tonight and watching tonight, I want you to go back to a recent OTP done right here in this room. And Taylor Zarzer had a really nice interview with Titans general manager Mike Borgonzi. And before they started into the nuts and bolts of the draft in the war room, they talked about Coach Mack. And TZ, when you mentioned how much that Mack really appreciated, respected, and loved the general manager that he only got to know in about a year's time in his time here, he was emotional about that. That meant something to him, which tells you how much Coach Mack meant to everyone.
Yeah, I appreciate you noticing that. And I have been so moved, Rhett, by the love this entire building has for that man and the pins that everyone in this building has been wearing that says Coach Mack on it. When the owner of our franchise, Amy Adams Strunk, last night made the call to Carnell Tate, and she's wearing that pin on her shirt, on her sport coat, if you will. That was a pretty powerful moment that, you know, the whole world got to see. And she had Coach Mack right there with her. And these shirts are certainly an example of that as well. And I can promise you this, my friend. We're going to be wearing these shirts, brother. for a long time.
Yes.
We'll be wearing these shirts everywhere we go.
Yes.
And we were wearing some brand new polos last night during the first round of the draft at Nissan Stadium. And on the corner of the sleeve, it said Mack on those shirts. And we'll be wearing those all season long in 2026.
We should also mention that we're here in our audio studio at the Vanderbilt Health Football Center, and the
Well
door,
done right there.
Thank you. Again, I wrote it down. The door, which is a glass door that is usually very see-through, you can't even see who's walking by anymore. There are pictures, there are notes, there are Post-its, just memories and words of appreciation. And it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. Just the amount of impact that Mack had on everybody in this building, that they felt compelled to create a space to remember him. It gets me every single time, and it continues to grow. Every time I walk by this door, there's more on there.
Well,
there's just more memories.
Amy, as we left the West Club of Nissan Stadium last night at the conclusion of our coverage, there was a giant sign that the Titans had put together, and it's this vinyl sign. It had grommets in the corners like you'd put it up on the side of a building. I'm not sure what the plans are for that, but it was
Hang
a
it up somewhere.
massive sign, and it was a collage of pictures of young Arizona Cardinals Mack, linebackers coach at Tennessee Titans Mack, and in the last decade that you remember him with the silver flowing locks. And they invited everyone to take a silver Sharpie and to write memories and thoughts and all of the things for Coach Dave McGinnis. And the time that you and I looked at that, there wasn't a place to put a signature.
Nope.
Not one.
It was incredible. I mean, the outpouring of love and support, and just seeing how many people Coach Mack touched, not only in like coaching and players and people he worked directly with, but people who just listened to him on the radio, or people who just had a passing interaction with him. You know, he just made such an impact. And it's very overwhelming to see all of that. And when you're missing your friend, you know,
it's a harsh reminder he's not here physically on this earth with us anymore.
Yeah.
And that was what it was for, I think, for you and I last night, as we looked at that banner with all those signatures from all those Titans. There was one that stood out. And of course, keep your powder dry was very common throughout the whole thing. But there was one from, it looked like a very young Titans fan that said, "Thanks for signing my hat."
Oh.
Wow.
And I was like, wow. That really kind of got me.
Wow. People always remember how you treat them, right? Mack was a golden man when it came down to how he invited everybody in. I don't care if there was ropes on the practice field out here at Vanderbilt Health Football Center.
Yeah, there it is.
Good job. You want to borrow my notes?
I looked over a little bit. But that's just what he was. And he, to me, is the epitome of you're never too big for anybody, like as big as he was.
There have been so many phrases of Mack's that we have attributed to him and that we've just added into our lexicon as football watching people. And Ford over Rooster we heard in the open of the broadcast here tonight, and oily hips and things like that he would say about different prospects. I just feel so lucky to have watched football both on a practice field and on a football field with Dave McGinnis.
You know, I just found this picture in my phone of the last game Coach Mack ever broadcast, and it's ironic that the Jacksonville Jaguars just made a selection because that game was in Jacksonville. And a friend of mine that I've worked with in the PGA Tour business, he said, "Hey, can my daughter works for the Jaguars. Can she come over and say hello to you guys?" And she came over to say hello to me in the booth, and Coach Mack immediately starts talking to her about her football career. and I'm looking at a picture right now, and he has his arm around her, and we all took a picture together as a Titans radio family, and it's one of the last pictures I have of him.
Wow.
And it's him offering support and love to someone he just met, and he is so happy to share his life with them.
Yeah.
And that, in a nutshell, was Dave McGinnis.
It absolutely was.
Thanks for signing my hat. Kills me.
I didn't mention it to you last night
because I was already crying.
Well, and I was trying to hold back the waterworks last night, and I swallowed real hard. I was like, I can't. I'll just save that one for now. And
wow, it's just beautiful, and it makes me think of I mean, all of the people and the way that he'd just be like, get over here, give me that hat, yeah, I'll sign it, or here, come under these ropes, they're not even that
Don't worry
important.
about that.
Get out here, don't worry
Then he
about
would
that.
introduce them to people, say, this is my new friend, come meet him.
Yeah, that's right. You're telling me you're with Coach Mack, it's fine. But like, and the way that he treats my girls and just all of those things, it's just, it hits you like a wave. Like, this man was so loved because he loved so well. Mm-hmm. And it's just incredible. And I mean, we miss him every second.
There aren't
of the
even
day.
enough words to tell how much we miss him.
But we will carry on, and we will wear these shirts, and the Titans will be wearing these shirts tomorrow in the draft
can't wait
room.
to see that. That's awesome.
And they're going to pick some really good players when they're wearing them, and it's going to be just a very special piece of Titans history, and I'm very excited about that.
Let's pivot back to the draft for just a second, because there's been a major trade that Will Bowling needs to tell us about.
There has been a major trade, Rep Brian. It is the 7th trade that has been made tonight. It is the second trade involving a player, and it's a big one, as the Philadelphia Eagles are trading for Vikings defensive end Jonathan Grenard, a 2024 Pro Bowler who had 12 sacks in 2024, 3 for the Minnesota Vikings last year. Minnesota gets pick 98 and a 2027 third-round pick. Those 2027 picks are like gold with how highly anticipated next year's NFL draft is. Philadelphia will get Jonathan Grenard and pick 244. So what that does is it gives Minnesota 9 top 100 selections in the 2026 and 2027 NFL drafts, and it saves the Vikings over $34 million in cap space. Meanwhile, there's your Jalen Phillips replacement for the Philadelphia Eagles, who lost him in free agency to the Panthers. And on top of that, yes, I'm not done, Jonathan Grenard gets a 4-year, $100 million contract extension
Howie Roseman
from
working.
Howie Roseman and the city of brotherly love. So, Grenard to Philly, Vikings get 98 and a 2027 third.
And we get to cheer against Nate Borkacher forever now, too, because he plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars, tight end out of Texas A&M. He was just selected by the Jags, their only pick they've made so far in this draft.
All right. Well, with that big trade, it feels like a good time for all of us to take a minute, process what just happened, decompress, and when we come back from this quick break, there will be more 2026 NFL Draft.
They are moving up to 60, making a deal with the Chicago Bears. Right now, we are seeing that the Houston Texans have made a pick in at 59. The Titans are now on deck behind Houston at 60, awaiting terms on that as we speak. And now I have them. Titans have traded. Thank you. The Tennessee Titans have traded up to 60. All it cost them was pick 144. So the Titans trade up 9 spots, and it cost them pick 144. So for the Titans, that is the second of their 3 fifth-round picks.
Okay.
To move up 9 spots.
Mike Borgonzi
Okay,
dealing.
so you were talking earlier today, Will, about what the cost of doing business was going to be. Does this seem like it's in alignment with what you've seen throughout the evening and what you expected?
I think it's better, to be quite honest with you, because the Browns and 49ers just made a trade a minute ago where the Browns traded 70 and 107 for 58 and 152. That was moving back about 45 points. You take a look at some of the other moves here. I mean, the Panthers and Vikings made a trade earlier where it cost them 51 and 159 for 49 and 196. You're talking about a 30 pick difference at that point to move between those 2 spots. I think it's tremendous value for the Titans, who already have 3 fifth-round picks.
And the Houston Texans are making their selection right now at number 59. And so the Tennessee Titans are about to be on the clock as soon as this announcement of the pick. It's Marlon Klein from Michigan, the tight end.
From Germany.
Yeah, so he is the tight end selected there by Michigan. And the Tennessee Titans, Rhett, Brian, are on the clock. Give us some thoughts on what you think right here with the 60th pick.
I think some O-line help might be in order, and I think an off-ball linebacker might be in order.
Yeah, and that's the way I feel as well, too. You're starting to see some of the offensive grit and grind guys being taken right now. You see a few tight ends. You see a center being pulled as well. This, to me, is where I feel like there are teams that are slated at before the Titans that they feel may be at an interior spot, or as we were talking about a little while ago, off-ball linebacker as well. So it'll be fascinating to see what they do. I'm scrambling to try to figure out what they will or should do. But clearly they feel that this is rich enough for them to be able to move up. They are within 6 picks, if I'm not mistaken, or 9 picks of being able to move up right now. That's to your Will's point, giving up the 140. That's doable.
And the pick is in, so we're about to find out here momentarily what the Tennessee Titans have done. Just waiting for the announcement at the podium, and obviously we will go to that. But just as a reminder, the Titans went into the draft, Amy, with the 4th pick, and they took the 4th pick in the draft, Carnell Tate. We thought they were going to have the 35th pick at the beginning of the 2nd round. Instead, traded out of that pick and picked up the 31st pick last night, and that was Keldrick Falk, the edge rusher, the defensive end from Auburn, was the 31st pick for the Titans. So we thought, at least going into tonight, maybe they wouldn't have a 2nd-round pick, that it would be in the 3rd round, the 69th pick that they would have. Instead, they just trade that away, and now they have the 60th pick, and in just a moment, we're about to find out who that is.
Absolutely. We're seeing Mike Borgonzi doing some real wheeling and dealing this year. He's able to leverage all of that draft capital that he has, that currency, and really turn it into some fascinating things.
And Will, in totality, they had 9 picks, the Titans did, coming into that draft.
Yes.
How many total picks do the Titans have now in this draft?
So now left, they, by moving 144 here, will have 142, 165, 184, 194, and 225. So still 5 selections to go.
So that'll be 7 total picks.
Yes.
Well, I don't,
8 total
8, because this will be the 3rd pick they've taken. That's right.
I was told there would be no math.
I don't do numbers.
So it's just an interesting point for everyone to remember, because going in they had 9. At least right now they have 8. But they moved up to take a second first-round draft pick, and they moved back into the 2nd round in order to make this selection here in just a moment with the 60th pick in the draft. So, again, we're waiting to see exactly what that pick is going to be here in just a moment. So Just waiting with bated breath as we come out of commercial break here on television, Red.
Yeah,
Yes.
now this is what you get for making jokes earlier
About the Panthers? That's right. Yeah.
Now they took a commercial break right before the Titans make this big pick.
I'll tell you,
They heard us.
before we see who this pick is, let's take a moment here to pause 10 seconds for station identification. Coverage of the 2026 NFL Draft is right here. This is Titans Radio. Titans Radio's coverage of the 2026 NFL Draft, presented to you by Nobody Trashes Tennessee, brought to you by the Tennessee Department of Transportation. The Titans have made a trade, if you're just joining us, moving up 9 spots to pick number 60 here in round 2. And they're about to make their selection. Let's see what happens here. I'm really excited to see what they moved up 9 spots for.
Yeah, just offensive defense. Again, the way they've set themselves up, there's flexibility there. I feel like there's good depth at almost all positions. Most people, I think, are probably pointing to the interior offensive line.
Yeah.
But can you trust Mike Bergonzi? I think the answer is no.
Trust him to get it right. I don't trust what exactly it's going to be.
I think he's trustworthy.
I trust him very much to find the right player. I don't know what he's about to do, I think is what you're saying.
Better stated.
I don't know if you can simultaneously say I trust him and I also feel like he's lying to me at the same time. That's kind of where I am right now.
I hope he's the general manager of the Titans for a long time, but if he's not, he's got a chance at the World Series.
I was going to say.
Because, man, he got us all last night.
Here we go.
Okay.
Right,
Headed to the podium right now.
For the third and to the second.
Oh, and our guy is headed to the
Big
podium.
Yeah. Represent.
Is that leather?
With the 60th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Anthony Hill Jr., linebacker, Texas.
Anthony Hill Jr., 6'2", 238, hands 9 5/8, arms 32 3/8, a 79-inch wingspan. Did 21 reps at 225 at the combine, ran a 4.51 at the 40, had a 2.63 short shuttle, and then 1.58 in his first 10. There's some explosion there. A 37-inch vertical leap, 10-foot 5-inch broad jump. Good size athlete, well put together, no stranger to the squat rack. He's a power lifting guy, but covers a ton of ground in run pursuit and when carrying tight ends down the field. And he's a young guy. I mean, this guy is one of the underclassmen in this draft. And Taylor Zarza, we saw this young man in Starkville, Mississippi in an overtime game last year.
I was just about to say, you always come to me for the game. You can reflect on what you saw from Anthony. And it's a little ironic that Jeffrey Simmons just made the pick because that was a heartbreaking loss. And Jeffrey Simmons was texting me throughout the game as his heart was being torn out of its chest as Mississippi State ended up losing that game in overtime to the Texas Longhorns. But Rome, we've said this before.
Yeah.
He was the heart of that Texas defense last year. And he is a guy that is going to roam all over the middle of the field for the Titans.
3 down back, played a whole lot of ball at Texas. I actually thought he was slated to be a first-round draft pick. I still think the talent is there. He's good downhill. He can go get the quarterback if you ask him to. He's got good speed. He's got good range. He can drop back. But I think his game plan is to be on the field and be a field general, and he's a downhill attacking type of guy. Again, you notice him, I said in my notes, on every single play, his production slightly dropped a little bit in 2025, and they may have led to it. But again, Texas had a little bit of a shaky start to begin their season with anyway with the young quarterback. But that defense, and specifically Anthony Hill Jr., has been very productive, has always shown up. The consistency of his play, to me, is always there. Now, again, him getting better at the next level, he's done that at Texas as well. 2-time All-American, so you know he's checking in every single day.
Ramon, how about this? First-round pick, 4th overall, Carnell Tate, 5-star recruit.
Yeah.
Then at pick 31, they trade back in. They take Keldrick Falk from Auburn, 4-star recruit. Anthony Hill Jr., 2nd-ranked linebacker in the 2023 class behind Suntarian Perkins, a 5-star recruit and the number 3 recruit in Texas.
Yeah.
Now, you're doing something Think about that.
That's like the country of Texas, what I call it. That's what we don't
get wrong.
The nation.
The nation, yeah, it is.
I really like this pick a lot. 7 forced fumbles in the last 2 seasons for Anthony Hill Jr. I had 4 words written down on my profile of him. See ball, get ball. That's what he does.
Yes,
He is a heat-seeking missile. 1 tackle shy of 250 in his career. Mike linebacker, starter for 2.5 years. And I think it's telling the Titans wanted to get in front of the L.A. Rams, who have Nate Landman and Omar Spates, but could have looked to upgrade an inside linebacker at pick 61. I even had for Rams, might like a linebacker like Anthony Hill Jr. if available there at 61. The Titans go up, they get him at 60.
31.5 tackles for loss in his career as a Longhorn, 17 quarterback sacks.
Yeah, no.
Hello.
Yeah. He's going to cause a lot of chaos in how he plays the ball. Again, Texas is a really good school, man, and they've really developed a whole lot when it comes down to their players. And again, we talked a lot about Arch. That defense and Anthony Hill Jr. set the tone for that entire team.
And I know this is going to be kind of nerdy, peel the curtain back of how broadcasts work, but Will Bowling especially will appreciate this, Amy. So Rhett Bryan spotted for me for that Texas-Mississippi State game, and Anthony Hill Jr. wore number 0 for the Texas Longhorns. And unequivocally, the best game of his collegiate career. No doubt about it. He had 10 tackles in the game, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble in the game. And Rhett Bryan, as he is supposed to do, is punching me on a play-by-play basis and pointing at number 0 all night long in that game as Texas beat Mississippi State. To your point, at the football on every play.
We were talking about how many Longhorns we'd like to see in Titans uniforms driving back home to Nashville.
Yeah.
And his name was mentioned.
Yes.
And now, here he is.
Here he is, man.
And maybe even at 35. Like, Anthony Hill Jr. was 37th on Daniel Jeremiah's top 150 prospects in this entire draft.
I don't mean this as any sort of criticism whatsoever, but just listening to you guys talk about this and then watching him with my own eyes in person, he is a tall linebacker. I mean, 6'3". It just really stands out just how his size. A lot of people were talking about the beginning of the draft with Sonny Styles being a tall linebacker. Anthony Hill kind of has that look to him, too.
He does fit that as well. I have a good friend of mine, and we go back and forth on it. I was looking at another linebacker, and this is a defensive guy. He's like, no, Anthony Hill is the guy. He had him number 1 in his group of linebackers, off-ball linebackers, and I respect his opinion a whole lot when it comes down to it as well. Good quality premium pick for what a lot of people try to minimize again. And I hate this because every position is very much important on the NFL team. That off-ball linebacker, field general role, he fits it to a T, captain and all.
And he's long, to your point. I mean, 32 and 5/8 inch arms and a nearly 79-inch wing.
Whoa.
Now that's, you know who else was a long middle defender for this team is Keith Bullock.
Keith Bullock.
He's long,
Shout
great
out
big
to Bully,
hands.
man.
And a 4-3 linebacker as well, too. With 3 starters at the linebacker position in your base defense, there's room for Cody Barton, Cedric Gray, and Anthony Hill Jr.
Yes, sir.
I like it. I like it a
And
lot,
again,
you guys.
you allowed 28 points per game last year in what was a rough season. You're going to try to do what you need to do to stifle that. And with the additions they made in free agency and now with this, I'm interested to see how many points they allow per game.
The other part is, though, too, you can sit back and say, like, to yourself, like, this is a doable trade. You didn't give up too much as far as next year's draft. You still got an opportunity to go get you some quality later in this draft as well. But, again, this team is set up to feel like the way you feel to hit the field right now with the guys that they've drafted and the guys that they have in-house to say, yeah, we got our 11 and you're okay with that. Most of this draft still left.
Well, sorry.
Oh, it's fine.
I keep thinking about.
We're all excited.
we're all in this together here. I keep thinking about Mike Borgonzi's pre-draft press conference where he was adamant about taking the best player, not necessarily drafting for need. However, it feels like in this draft he has been able to do both. He was able to satisfy some of the needs that the Titans had within the offense. People who could really stretch the field, who could make some of those explosive long plays that the Titans really lacked in 25 and put some points on the board. The Tennessee Titans need to score points to win games, it turns out. Then on the defensive side of the ball, we needed more edge rushers. They needed guys who could come after the quarterback. And so he was able to get that. He needed a linebacker. There was need for depth.
Yes.
There was need for real productivity in that spot. They were able to do that. So are they taking the best player available? Sure. Are they also addressing needs? Yes, that's the mastery of this.
Let me tell you what else Anthony Hill Jr. was, and I didn't mean to gloss over this, and Will Bowling will love this because he's a track guy. He did cross country in college.
I'm all ears.
So, how about this? Was a part of the 4x100 relay team that finished runner-up at the 2022 state Texas championships.
He can move.
Exactly.
UIL.
How about this? At
solid.
his size now, 11.45 seconds in the 100, 23.18 in the 200. At his, now, I'm just saying.
I mean,
no, it's good.
He's not Usain Bolt, but for what he is, I like it.
What is he? 238, 240
Yeah.
as well. The best part too about it, as far as this pick goes, or these 3 picks that the Titans have as well. And if my information is correct, each one of these dudes went to college, had a goal, and accomplished it. And what I mean by that is 3 years and they're out. Like, you still are getting these guys young. Like, I continually bring that up, and that's the part in which, of course, they got to get their careers, and we're going to have to see them through. But legitimately, the way they set themselves up to be successful as young as they are with the right teaching, the right coaching, and, again, with Cody Barton still here and the young Cedric Gray for a guy like Anthony Hill, this is a masterclass of old guys and youth growing up together when those dudes eventually get phased out.
And big school programs as well, who are coming from like NFL development weight rooms. And you talk about Ohio State, Auburn, and Texas, even going back to high school at Billy Ryan High School in Denton, Texas, for Anthony Hill Jr., playing alongside NFL draft picks Jatavian Sanders and Billy Bowman on his team, winning a Texas 5A state championship at 15-0 in 2020. It's the same kind of mentality that J.C. Latham brought here as a tackle coming from IMG Academy to Alabama to the Tennessee Titans. That winning breeds winning kind of mentality and culture. That's important for where this franchise is right now. They want guys that are putting everything in to winning football games week in and week out. That sounds cliche, but guys like this who have just won everywhere they've been, that matters.
Yep. Hey, to your point about the youth movement in this, Anthony Hill Jr. just turned 21 on Valentine's Day.
Love, baby.
You know who the last player the Tennessee Titans had that had a birthday on Valentine's Day?
Mack 9.
The late, great Steve McNair.
Hey, now.
Yep.
Good stuff right there, Red.
Spooky.
And 3 guys, all 3 guys are 21 years old. The Titans.
Just turned 21.
Just turned 21.
Going to be
Young,
21
young.
their rookie years in the NFL.
And just, Taylor, to highlight that again, too, like the NFL is a talent-based league. And I know everybody's looking at the portal and how these guys are coming out, getting all these extra years for production and stuff like that. And you got the Titans are still saying, no, if you're good and you're young enough, we're going to come take you. And I think that, to me, is a storyline in itself. Like, the league doesn't forgive bad players. You know, if you're good, you're going to find your way in there.
Well, and there's also a wear and tear factor to that. And guys who are staying in college longer are putting more strain on their body at a lower level.
Yeah.
And that's just part of it. And yeah, you're making money, and yeah, you're setting yourself up for success, and you're getting the reps, and all of that is real, but you're also more likely to be injured. You're more likely to have just played more football and beaten your body up more. If you're a young guy, I mean, football, sorry, Tom Brady, it's a young man's game. Like,
Give me a little bit right there. Give me a little bit right there.
I mean, it's really cool if you can play until you're 49, but for the most part, I mean, the average age of an NFL player is what, 23, 24, something like that?
Absolutely.
Like,
and the average years is what?
3.5?
3.2?
Something like that.
Or 2.3 years?
Yeah, it is. It's hard on your body. So the younger you can be, the more that you can just be fresh and new. That is a value.
The more the league is forgiving of it as well, too. Yeah.
You have more time.
Think about this, and I know this is positional, perspective in this, but Tyler Shuck was the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints last year. In his sophomore year in the NFL, he's going to be 27 years old.
That's probably why they're okay with him being a starter.
He's a grown man.
He's a grown man.
He's playing like he's got 2 kids and a mortgage, right?
And he might. I did at that age.
There it is.
It is wild, though, just how young the Titans are right now. But that is how you build a championship team, through the draft, and that's exactly what the Tennessee Titans are doing. And the Seattle Seahawks are on the clock right now, Amy, with the last pick of the second round. The second round is just about to end. A couple of things to note. Since Anthony Hill was drafted by the Titans with the 60th pick, the Rams took Max Clare, the tight end from Ohio State, and then another Buckeye, Davison Igbinosun, the cornerback from Ohio State, was taken by the Denver Broncos. So now every team is drafted in the NFL. The Broncos taking a cornerback.
Finally.
Yeah, and then the Chargers just took Jake Slaughter, the center from Florida. So the Seahawks are about to make the last pick of the second round. And if it is an SEC player, exactly half of the second round will be Southeastern Conference selections. 15 of the...
We're going to do the party horn in here.
15 of the 31 picks so far have been SEC players. So we'll see if it's an SEC guy. It's just crazy. So we're about to go to the third round.
You're starting to see a run on interior offensive linemen. With Jake Slaughter right there, there's a center. That's a second center that's been taken in the last handful of picks. Logan Jones from Iowa, a few picks earlier.
That's right.
And these are some really talented and high floor, lots of experienced ball players.
And just to remind everybody, the Titans, at least as of right now, it's going to be a minute.
It is.
Before they pick again.
And the Titans would pick again in the fifth round at 142. They just traded the second of their 3 fifth-round picks. They picked up the third one in the trade yesterday that allowed them to move up and pick Auburn defensive lineman and defensive end Keldrick Falk. So still on the board left for the Titans, 142, 165, both fifth-round picks, 184 and 194 in the sixth round, and 225 in the seventh round.
So no third or fourth round picks as of right now.
Correct.
For the Titans. 2 fifth, 2 sixth, and a seventh is what is left for the Titans as of this minute.
And quite honestly, with what he's done with the first 3 picks, and we talked about the roster part of this, if he were to go to stay and select 9 players with everything they did in free agency, you weren't going to see 18 to 20 undrafted free agents signed after this thing is over Saturday afternoon. And now you're starting to think, okay, well, there's going to be at least a handful of those now to finish out, because you're getting close to. If he would have picked all 9 selections, you'd have been at 87 of the 90 on the roster, unless they made some other move and moved a player off of that. And to your point about picks in this, here's Seattle with pick 64. They're the team that has the least picks in this thing at only 4. So this is second of their 4 picks total. And of course, what a problem to have is you're the world champ.
I was going to say, just to add to it, but they're set up. You know, and they found their running back replacement. Like they have a lot of their bones in place, because they do have a good bit of youth on the Seattle Seahawks team as well.
And they still have Zach Charbonnet, who's coming off of an injury. Them and the Broncos are the 2 teams that probably had the least pressing needs of the other 30 teams in the league.
One note from Dan Graziano I wanted to mention really quick, as Jermod McCoy's fall has been one of the stories of the night here on night 2 of the NFL draft. This is kind of a dividing line you get at the end of the second round. So starting at pick 65, we're talking about Jermod McCoy has that reported bone plug in his other knee, not the one that was surgically repaired from the torn ACL. Not a question of his health for this year. It's his longevity over the course of his entire career. Starting at pick 65, the only guaranteed money in a rookie contract is the signing bonus. So at pick 65, it's the first pick that gets a split salary. One number for weeks when he's on the 53, a lower number for those when he isn't. So maybe now more incentive for teams, Ramon, contractually, the way the contracts are set up in the CBA, to take a bit more of a calculated risk on a player of Jermod McCoy's talent in the third round.
Yeah, this is one of those points where teams protect themselves. This is I say it all the time, is one of my favorite quotes. This is a beautiful game with a dirty business behind it, and you got to protect yourself with the amount of money that you're paying out right now. The TV deals, the licensing deals, like those salaries have gone up, and teams have to also play the business side as well. And for guys like Jermod McCoy to have those type of issues, and I'll even go a step further than that. This is one of those post Sam Bradford drafts where veteran players were upset with the amount of signing signing bonus money that these players, these rookies were coming to get inside of the league.
Right.
And this is where their protection will be like, no, don't give all of them the money. We want it for us as vets who's proven that we belong in the NFL, as opposed to a guy that's just walking in with a nice suitcase. So that right there is an incentive for teams moving forward right now.
Amy, the second round is over. The last pick was not a player from the Southeastern Conference, but he is
a frog.
Dave
McGinnis would be here to remind us as the world champions take Bud Clark, safety, TCU, 6 foot, 188, hands 9 inches, arm 31.5, ran a 4.41 in the 40, 1.56 in the 10, 38-inch vertical leap, 10.7 broad, had a big week at the Senior Bowl and made himself a lot of money as he was the last pick of the second round. And over the last couple of years, at free safety, 319 snaps, in box, 707, in slot, 558. He is a magnet to the ball. 15 career interceptions, natural ball steals, good tackler, one of the older rookies in this, 24 years old. He's a bit of a gambler in his approach. And the other part of him is availability, because he's missed a few bits of time in 22, 2024, and 2025. But as Mack would say, frog and a GPS to the ball. Yeah.
All right. Well, before the third round and the final round of today, of day 2, starts, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, round 3 of the 2026 NFL Draft right here on Titans Radio. Coverage of the 2026 NFL Draft is presented to you by Nobody Trashes Tennessee, brought to you by the Tennessee Department of Transportation. We appreciate their support as we are heading through the NFL Draft here on Titans Radio. Round 3 is starting with the Arizona Cardinals. Their pick is in. They are announcing it right now. I don't know who this person is, but I'm excited
James
that there's
Conner, running back. Small teammate right there.
James Conner.
He's a Yinzer.
Different.
He's been out in Arizona. He
just made an interesting announcement.
Wow.
Interesting. The Arizona Cardinals have selected quarterback Carson Beck from Miami, also from Georgia. So can we get like a halvesy on the SEC count there?
Yeah,
like, can we get a little...
He was there for
15.5 selection.
Yeah, like...
He was with Georgia for 5 years.
Yeah,
so
I think
that's at least three-quarters of a point, right?
Yeah, I think we should get a little half point on that
6'4"
one.
and change, 225. 918 dropbacks in his last 2 years of college football. More of a pocket passer, not quite as mobile. Has the NFL-type quarterback build, 43 starts in college, a 37-6 record, which tells you he played for Georgia, and then a very good year for the Miami Hurricanes. 23 years old. The big thing with him, UCL surgery after Georgia was in that SEC title game in 2024. And many think he has never been the same since that UCL surgery in terms of the depth with the ball, the touch with the ball, and those things. Coach Mack would tell you he is not an empty chair, but I think a lot of people had this guy as a day 3 pick.
Yeah, I think you just nailed exactly my questions about Carson Beck. Is I saw a guy that had the exact build and a cannon for an arm 2 or 3 years ago. But watching him last year, and give him all the credit in the world, they went to the national championship game, and he obviously had a great year. The whole team had a great year, the Hurricanes did. And they had also lethal weapons in the underneath receiving game. But he was dinking and dunking last year for the Miami Hurricanes. He was not airing it out down the field, throwing the ball on many vertical routes. But he did a lot of that with Georgia. He's a unique guy. You know, I know that's also a part of this too. He's somebody that doesn't mean good or bad, by the way. Yeah. It's just he's more of a to himself kind of guy.
Yeah.
Gunnar Stockton this past year for Georgia was way more entrenched with the team as a leader and an alpha. Stetson Bennett was as well, that preceded Carson Beck, and Beck was more of a to himself kind of person. That's something else to just think about.
And also, too, the way my mind works around the NFL businesses is this is also a call out to Jacoby Brissett, who's holding out at Arizona right now, who's probably projected to be their starter. You know, as far as Gardner Minshew and he both being signed right now, Jacoby got about $9 million, which is transitional starter money for a team that was just looking for a guy since Kyler Murray's not there right now, too. And this just, again, shows you what the business of the NFL is. Okay, we'll work with you and give you just a little bit more money if you want, or give you guaranteed money, Jacoby, but we will go draft a guy. That's what this league is kind of showing. Like, the train keeps moving, as Coach Mack would tell us, you know?
You're right on the money, Ramon, because here's where we're at. Like the Arizona Cardinals, the Tennessee Titans had a change at head coach, which means the offseason program starts earlier for them.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Phase 2 of that starts on Monday.
Yeah, man.
Clock is ticking.
Yeah.
And here's Jacoby not there.
Not there, Rhett.
And so now, you're right, this is the Bidwell family and the general manager saying, hey, you know what? Let's bring somebody in the building here.
I think it's interesting, too, when you talk about Carson Beck and what he did well last season and just what he was asked to do or not asked to do. According to PFF, his big-time throw percentage was only 3.3%. That was 41st out of 57 eligible draft quarterbacks, but his accuracy percentage from the advanced analytics was third best in this class at 67.3%. His adjusted completion percentage was up towards 79%. You think of the run game that Miami had down the stretch last season to earn them a trip. It was run game, and let's let Carson Beck take his shots when he needs to. Well, they have Jeremiah Love now in Arizona, and if and when he does get the opportunity to play in that system for new head coach Mike LaFleur, you would imagine that that's the formula. Jeremiah Love leads you, and Carson Beck picks his spots.
That team got good bones about it at the skill position for sure. The Arizona Cardinals,
sneaky good
positioning, and like they got a lot of holes to fill. I don't think they're going to be overly competitive, but that's a setup type of team if you allow yourself to grow.
Right.
Will, did we have another trade here just a moment ago?
We've had so many trades, Taylor Zarzer. Let's get caught up on
Will's
the trades that we have had. I am trying to sort through it all. So first of all, the Broncos, Tyler Onyedim, the defensive tackle from Texas A&M, that was a pick that was originally the Titans, then traded 3 times, I believe.
And oddly enough, that's their replacement for John Franklin Myers.
There you go. Yes, it absolutely is. And Kieran Crawford, teammate of one Keldrick Falk. I'm seeing some Keldrick Falk highlights right now on NFL Network as I'm watching Kieran Crawford, the edge rusher from Auburn, is the new selection at 67 for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Played his heart out for Auburn. I mean, every single play played his heart out for the Auburn Tigers last year.
You ready for a Rhett Nuggie on Kieran Crawford?
That was Rhett.
His grandfather, I remember watching as a much younger Rhett Bryan, as he was he was trained and was on my television on Saturday mornings out of Memphis, Mid-South Wrestling. His grandfather was a character called the Snowman.
Get out of here.
Jerry the King Lawler trained him. Coco Beware trained him. And was rocked up like his grandson right here, Kieran Crawford. The Snowman. The Snowman I remember very vividly in the mid-'80s on my television set on Saturday mornings.
I'm not sure if y'all called it that in North Carolina, but we used to call it wrestling, okay? That's Saturday morning wrestling.
That's what we... That's what
WRASS.
That's what I still call it.
A little wrestling. And everybody went through that Memphis circuit as well, right? If you look back on it, man, those Jerry the King Lawler, oh my gosh, that's how I met my high school.
I remember seeing Coco Beware's first match there. Macho Man Randy Savage went through that territory.
Yeah.
Terry Bollea, Terry the Boulder, as a heel before he became Hulk Hogan. Rhett Bryan could tell you about wrestling all night long. I can promise you that. Tyler Onyedem, though, going back to that Broncos pick at D tackle, that is the John Franklin Myers replacement for him, for them. He's 6'3" and a half, 292 pounds, 10 1/8 inch hands, 34 1/8 inch arm, wing nearly 82 inches. So he's a big, long D tackle and a nice player from Texas A&M for them.
Okay, so now I believe that the Philadelphia Eagles are on the clock. But it's hard to tell.
Man,
Eagles from Jets are on the clock. Yeah.
Guys, I'd love to help you wade through all this. The amount of things that I just had to chat GPT about wrestling is just, I can't.
Cool.
I can't participate right now. I got to figure out who these people
do
are.
yourself a favor, too.
I don't know anything about anything.
Tomorrow before the third day of the draft begins, go to NFL.com and go into the transactions column and just see what all happened.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
That might be a legitimate record set for the amount of trades that have happened in this draft.
The great Dwight Spradlin, who works for our communications team here with the Tennessee Titans, handed me an NFL annual selection meeting piece of paper that has all of the picks in each round on it.
It's very useful until it's not at all anymore.
It's like
have we reached that point?
It's
for sure.
It's like keeping score in a baseball game that goes to extra innings. Is what it's like.
A midweek college baseball game where about 8 pitchers were on each team.
Like as an example, for the 69th pick in the draft, which a little while ago was going to be the Titans, it says Houston from New York, from Tennessee, from Chicago.
That's right.
Wow. Now the Bears have the pick.
That's right.
And it's been in 4 different hands, the 69th pick.
It's the transfer portal of picks.
Now, imagine if that new bylaw was made where they could trade out picks 5 years from now.
No.
You know how insane we will be as a league in the NFL?
I'll never say never, but I don't know that happened.
Thankfully, Cleveland for rescing that before it got too far down the road.
I think somebody tapped him on the shoulder.
Somebody said, "Hey, buddy, you might want to tag out of this one right here, bud." I'm sorry about that.
If you need help, ask us.
Tell you what, why don't you go over to the corner with a PR guy and have some snacks?
Have some cheesecake.
Face with him.
I still can't get over that. I will have a dream tonight about a Cleveland Browns guy eating snacks and what that might look like in Amy Wells' head. Yes.
We're all different flavors.
Oh, man.
So to recap, Amy, Carnell Tate, Keldrick Falk, Anthony Hill Jr., those are the Tennessee Titans that have been added to the roster. And as of now, the Titans will have 2 5th-round picks, 2 6th-round picks, and a 7th-round pick. And I think the big question I have before we go home here in a little while is what do we think the Titans are going to do with those 5 picks that are left?
Me personally, I think it's where you start to find if there's no move up, because I feel like we got to start there, Taylor. If there's no more movement around or trades, anything else that the Titans decide to do, your offensive line, I think there's still good value and talent there as well. You start looking into the secondary, like Anthony Hill Jr. is noted in the Dane Brogler Beast article. He's never played special teams. usually young guys that are non-first rounders, and heck, even some of them run down the field on kickoff coverage, kickoff return, punt coverage, or whatever the case may be. You start to go get you some of those core guys, special teamers, guys that fill roles for you and add a little depth as well. So that's where I'm kind of figuring where this team is going to be. I generally do think there will be good quality on the offensive line, which I know Will and I on Monday morning going to hear, did they address the offensive line? What about Cam? And I respect all of that. The way this has kind of gone, Jackson Slater's still here, and I respect guys who spent the year being pros. And I've also always just advocated for guys that are taken by teams and developed by those people, that you also have to trust them if you picked them the year before. I don't care if it's Christmas the next year. It's your job to allow those guys to prove themselves, right or wrong, and that way you know where you are as a pro.
I would follow that up with, I'm going to continue the big man talk, because this is, let's give some love to the O-lineman in here, because we got one right here next to us we care a lot about.
No doubt.
One in day 3 that I'm intrigued by, and I've liked this guy ever since I started studying him weeks ago, and it's Jagger Burton from Kentucky.
Yeah.
Nickname is Moose.
This big blue wall in Kentucky, too.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
23 years old, 6'4", 312 pounds, arms 32 and a half, 10 and an eighth inch hands, wing almost 81. And at that size, y'all, ran a 4.94 in the 40. A 1.76 in his 10, still had a 28-inch vert, 9.3 broad. You're not going to ask him to do all that, but there's just some athleticism there. His relative athletic score, I think, was a perfect 10.
Can I add to him when you're done, too, by the way?
Give me just a second.
Go
I'm
ahead.
still preaching in the choir.
I'm going to let you cook. Pass the plate, Amy.
47 40s. Is it Pastor's anniversary Sunday? Love offering.
Put something in there.
It's not time for the offertory just yet.
We're doing stanzas 1, 2, and 4 of O-line right now.
47 straight starts, over 2,600 snaps, aggressive, tough, really good, and good, plus anchor, plus feet, and positional versatility in this. 23 starts at left guard, 15 at center, 9 at right guard. Jagger Burton, I hope the Titans think he's got the moves like Jagger.
No doubt about it, man. And he's just good at what they do. Kentucky has, for all intents and purposes, man, one of those known offensive linemen. A&M is one of them. Georgia's one of them. Kentucky, you have to consider them being one of them. Iowa is one of those types of squads, too. They have a history of it, too. I got another guy from Kentucky I think that'll be really good, too.
Oh, tell me.
Jalen Farmer.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Is a specimen. Do you hear me? I'm going to say this, and somebody probably going to take him real soon, but when you look at him, he will grab you, and as all the old school guys say, he's a forklift. He played really well against Georgia as well, but those two guys playing beside each other, that's some elite stuff when it boils down to what they're capable of and what the Titans still could go get.
They played at Kroger Field. They got their Kroger Plus cards for all the groceries they were eating. Just so happens Kroger's the official tailgater of the Tennessee Titans. Let's make it all work together.
That's believable.
Real quick, you mentioned Texas A&M. Trey Zune's still on the board, too. Another interior offensive lineman from the Maroon Goons of Texas A&M. 6'6", 312. 33 reps on the bench with some pretty long arms. He's played center and left tackle.
There it is.
What versatility.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, before we get even deeper into this O-lineman just cave that we're walking into, it feels like we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, more of round 3 of the 2026 NFL Draft. The 2026 NFL Draft is presented to you by Nobody Trashes Tennessee, brought to you by the Tennessee Department of Transportation. The gang's all here, and we are rolling through round 3 of the 2026 NFL Draft. Guys, it has been a blast. We have had so much fun. There have been so many trades and moves and crazy picks. And, I mean, I can't remember a wilder draft than the one that we have experienced over the last 2 days. But you know what? We still have a long way to go. There's still a whole nother day of drafting tomorrow. Rounds 4 through 7.
Yours truly will be on Titans Radio feed at the top and the bottom of the hour on Titan stations that participate, and on the flagship home 104.5 The Zone at the top and the bottom of the hour from 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern, as we discover who the latest batch of Tennessee Titans are. If you're just joining us, we thought we were going to have to wait till pick 69 after the trade last night with the Buffalo Bills to get in the bottom of the first round to take Keldrick Falk from Auburn. We did not, as they executed another trade, Mike Borgonzi and crew did. And at number 60, they took off-ball linebacker, Mike linebacker from the Texas Longhorns, Anthony Hill Jr., a big, fast middle defender for Robert Saleh's defense.
So just to recap, Taylor Zarzer, you want to run us through all of the Titans picks so far?
Carnell Tate with the 4th pick in the draft from Ohio State, first wide receiver that was selected in the NFL draft this year, and there was a lot of shock when he was selected with the 4th pick. If you heard our interview earlier tonight, and by the way, if you didn't hear it, as you said, Amy, you can go see it on the website, on YouTube, or wherever you get your podcast, on the official Titans podcast on the OTP. Carnell Tate was as shocked as everyone when he was made the 4th pick in the draft, but he said, man, I am pumped. He said, this offense fits me perfectly, and he was thrilled to be a Tennessee Titan. And we're thrilled to have him here in Nashville, Tennessee. That's the 4th pick. Keldrick Falk was the 31st pick in the draft. Titans move up from the 2nd round to the 1st round and grab a really talented defensive end from Auburn University. Keldrick grew up just between Montgomery and Greenville, Alabama, and will only have to travel about 3.5, 4 hours, or his family will, in order to watch him play college football in Nashville, Tennessee. Falk, the 31st pick in the draft. Both of those guys, first-round picks. The Titans did not have a second-round pick for most of this day after trading it away to get Keldrick Falk. But then they went and made another trade to get a second-round pick back. And with the 60th pick in the draft, they select Anthony Hill, the linebacker from Texas, who was the heart of the Longhorns defense last year. And as if you were listening just a little while ago to what Ramon Foster said about how he fits perfectly into this 4-3 scheme, and essentially the Titans now have their 3 linebackers going into the season. They have more than that, obviously, in terms of depth, but they have their 3 starting linebackers as they add Anthony Hill there as a missing piece. So those are the 3 picks so far. The Titans are scheduled to have 2 picks in the 5th round, 2 in the 6th, and 1 in the 7th.
Yeah, the Anthony Hill pick to me, I think, was a good quality one. It came via a trade as well. And when you look at his play, his skill set, he is a 3-down guy. You don't have to worry about speed with him. He's a 4.51. I mean, he's a couple ticks away from being a 4.4 if you're looking at it. But even when they're in base defense, he's on the field. If they go nickel or dime, he's capable of staying on the field. Cedric Gray, who's already on the squad right now, is a guy I think is better against the run. When you look at Cody Barton, who's here right now, Anthony Hill, those 2 guys may end up being your nickel backers, or you put Anthony Hill with Cedric Gray and you can drop him in coverage, or you can send him on the blitz as well. He's good, and of course his adjustment to the physical side of what the NFL is, this guy, it needs to be there as well. But he's got some trench monsters up front that should pave the way for him. And again, in this Robert Saleh defense, that front 7 each so that the back end can do their thing too.
The one thing too, and Anthony Hill I'm interested in seeing, is he was not asked to play a lot of special teams in college. As a player who is a 5-star recruit and a big-time linebacker who started for 2.5 years for Pete Kwiatkowski, the defensive coordinator for the Texas Longhorns, he was kind of thrust right in. So that's going to be a new skill for him to learn, playing special teams and being a second-round pick linebacker, just being a linebacker, period, in this league, gaining that skill. I know Bones Fossil, who loves special teams, I think more than any other human being on this planet, will be eager to work with a player with his kind of agility, change of direction at that size.
I think it's hilarious when these position starters come in from college like Anthony Hill and never have played special teams, and the rude awakening they get when they got to walk in that special teams meeting and tell them, you're on punt. Like, that adjustment is humbling. Do you hear me? But it's a rite of passage. You have to do that. All the stars I know have played special teams other than quarterbacks.
And there is no better person to be walking into that room with than Bones Fossil, because he understands that. Yeah. He totally gets that this is new for guys. Most of these guys have never had to play teams before. Right. They've never been asked. And that this is your proving ground.
It is.
And he leans into it, and he gives these guys this sense of what's the word? It's not ownership, but it is kind of. They feel like this is their thing. This is their contribution.
Agreed.
This is their way to make an impact. And man, it's important. We have found that out. As the Tennessee Titans, we know how important special teams can be. It can be the decider in wins and losses. You see it all the time. And Bones has such a passion for this phase of the game, and not only just what it is on the field and the schematics of it and the role that it plays in the bigger picture, but what it means in the development of these guys and their careers. And he takes that so seriously. And, like, listen, and Coach Mack would be the first to tell you, I do not watch special teams practice. It's when I get my water. It's when I go to the bathroom, and I come back out for position drills. But I recognize the importance of it, and I would play special teams for Bones Fossil, and I would be really bad at it, but I would do it for him.
But your point is so valid, Amy. Your point is so valid because his passion for it, and he just has a magnetic personality anyway. You want to do well for him in special teams, whether you like that idea of it going into it or not. You learn just by osmosis, and you're right, the buy-in is so strong with him. I mean, I guarantee everybody that plays in that phase for him absolutely loves him. How could you? I mean, he's a fantastic person, but when you're that passionate about what you do, you can't help but want to do it.
The other part, though, too, we're speaking about special teams, and I feel like we hadn't mentioned Bones Fossil at all. Keldrick Falk will be on there as well. But that is also the recognition of making it to the highest level because the numbers get smaller. Starters have to play, veteran guys have to play special teams as well. I've seen guys in their 6th and 7th year be starters on defense or offense, tight ends or linebackers or cornerbacks who are gunners on the outside that have to contribute to the team because we go from 53 and also just a game day 46 number as well. So that is a pertinent part, Amy, to your point of having an experienced guy like Bones Fossil be the special team coordinator.
Demario Davis has done it his whole career.
Come on, Rat.
And look at, I mean, he's what, you're 17 or whatever.
Absolutely.
But you bring up something so valid in what Robert Saleh told us again today, reminding us about they will carry 8 to 9 in that front on game days, and they will rotate a lot.
Yeah.
And the ceiling is about 60% of the snaps.
Yeah.
So if you're Keldrick Falk and you're getting towards that number, guess what else you're going to do on Sundays or on game days?
But
you're going to
also,
play teams.
For a young D lineman that's got to grow and develop a rush, like to understand discipline as it pertains to your assignment. There is no stricter coach on the team than a special teams coach. If you don't line up in that gap on field goal block or on punt protection, this is where you would get ripped by the coach, and the head coach is going to know about it as well.
And the long arms put him on field goal or punt block.
Yes, sir.
And then that keeps him in mind of matching hands with a quarterback.
Yep.
I love watching special teams in practice just because Bones Fossil and the passion that he has and the way he coaches it, and he's the best in the world at doing it. And one of the things, there's going to be millions of things that I miss about Coach Mack, but one of the things at the top of the list that I thought about yesterday in practice is usually on practice field 1, if you will, of 3, I will at 2 or 3 times per practice, I'll just hit him on the arm and I'll say, hey, coach. And he'll say, Taylor? And I'll say, yeah. And he'll say, I don't watch kicking. And I was like, but I was just going to, he's like, Taylor, I don't know anything about kicking.
Nope.
And, I mean, 2 or 3 times to practice, I would say, coach, and he'd say, Taylor, I do not watch the kicking game. And that's one of the things I'm going to miss the most. Is just him needling me like that during practice, because I wanted so badly to tell him about, man, you should have seen what Jim just did. Yeah. Or you should have seen that Joey Slye just kicked it 72 yards in practice.
You're just sucking up because you know I don't watch it. That's what this is. It's called strategy, Taylor Zarzer. I see it. I know.
That's right.
Right. Well, now that I know this about Taylor, we're going to take a quick break while we sort this out. But when we come back, we are going to finish up our draft coverage from Vanderbilt Health Football Center right here on Titans Radio.